In this world, grotesque creatures exist. An orc swings its weapon with a ferocious scowl, while a brave soul raises a shield to block the blow. What a bizarre sight. Their monstrous forms strike fear into anyone who sees them. It roars in pure rage, pressing its weapon down onto Marin's body. Olga holds a bow, aiming at the orc, thinking, just wait and see. They are savage enemies that threaten every living thing. Mickey and Heket also prepare to jump into the fray, striking down the beast blow by blow. We call them monsters. The monster lets out a thud, collapsing to the ground. Olga breathes a sigh of relief. Great work, everyone. Is anyone hurt? Heket replies, yeah, we're all fine. Mickey adds, hey, I just leveled up. Olga turns to Marin. You took a lot of hits this time too, didn't you? Having a tank like Marin in the party really puts my mind at ease, she says. Suddenly, his expression darkens. Hey, wait, you're not planning to... Just then, Marin pulls out a sharp blade and heads toward the monster. With the blade glistening, he gently strokes the orc's leg, cleaning off the fur. First, drain the blood to get rid of the gamey smell. Second, add seasoning to mask the odor. Third, cut the leg into bite-sized pieces. Fourth, stir-fry it with noodles. Mickey groans, ugh, gross, I've seen you do this 1,000,000 times and I still can't get used to it. Why eat that stuff when there's normal food around? Heket replies calmly, the world is vast and people have different tastes, you know. But at least he cooks with his heart. Maron places a sprig of herbs on top, the final step garnishing the cream sauce pasta. Heket claps in praise while Mickey continues to complain. I seriously can't get over this. Maron takes a bite of the noodles. How's the taste? He stops eating, turns his head, and looks at Mickey. Want to try a bite? Mickey recoils while refusing. No way, I'll pass. Marin digs in, thinking to himself, this is delicious. Those from other worlds really don't know how to appreciate authentic, rich flavors. The savory meat juices from the orc leg, now free of any stench. The tender melting texture. The rich collagen and the noodles swirling together with the cream sauce. The flavor is elevated to another level. A symphony of fats. Mickey's face drops. How can he eat that stuff with such a happy look on his face? Heket replies, you know. Marin has always been quite unique. Olga says, her voice full of mystery. Oh, by the way, have you heard the news? The hero who went missing a while back, they found his body. Mickey gasps in shock. Where, she replies, in the charcoal forest to the south. Really? I just passed through there a few days ago. Oh, Heket sighs with regret. Wasn't he the most promising hero of them all? And even he got taken out. Marin suddenly freezes, staring blankly into space, lost in thought. Just how strong are the monsters there? Mickey turns to him, curious. No matter what kind of monster it is, all you think about is catching it and cooking it right. Seriously, Marin, why are you always eating the monsters? Marin remains silent for a moment. 3 months ago, in a small village in the south, a panicked voice rang out. Why can't this carriage move? It was running just fine yesterday. I've told you 1,000 times. A red boss has appeared. It's blocking the road and causing chaos. How are we supposed to get moving? The village chief glares at the carriage in frustration. Yesterday we were going back to the city and now this. A man sits on the carriage, trembling, his eyes hollow and looking completely exhausted. Then the carriage collapses to everyone's surprise. For now we can't go. Let's find somewhere else. Everywhere else is the same. Far away, an old man trembles while trying to buy supplies. My child, it's time to go visit your son. No, the girl says sadly, maybe we'll have to leave it for next time. Mayhem wonders, but what are we supposed to do now? Even though they stopped taking passengers, the delivery deadline was only 3 days away. The village chief pulls at his hair, going insane. The client is a noble. If we're late, we're in big trouble. A shrill voice booms out, drawing their attention. I told you we aren't going anywhere for now. A man angrily scolds Maron. I don't care about your problems, I'm staying here. If you're in such a rush, find another carriage. With that, he drives his carriage away. The village chief whispers, Look at that guy in the iron helmet. He looks a bit ragged, but he seems pretty strong. Mayhem sizes Marin up from head to toe. His gear isn't even maintained, the chief says irritably. But why be picky now? If they're desperate, they'll be easy to hire. A voice calls out from behind Marin. Hey, wait a second. You the warrior in the iron helmet. Marin stops and looks toward the source of the voice. Mayhem smiles. It looks like you're looking for a ride out of the village. Which way are you headed? Marin replies calmly, east to a drama. He continues, Oh, thank goodness, why don't you join our caravan? You don't need to pay, just act as our escort along the way. We'll even take care of your meals, he says. Every other carriage is staying put in the village after all. He scratched his head in confusion. I've heard about how dangerous things are, but we have to head out urgently. I heard you have some urgent business too, so wouldn't it be better if we helped each other out? Marin remained calm. Sure, I'll join you. He was thrilled. That's a brilliant decision. We'll try to find a few more people and leave by noon. I'll be waiting in the carriage. Since we've met, it's fate, so let's introduce ourselves. I'm Mayhem, a merchant, and you are, Maron replied without a hint of emotion. Maron Glassy. Mayhem leaned in close and whispered to the village chief. He looks a bit frail. Don't tell me he has some incurable disease. The old man clicked his tongue. Whatever, as long as he's good at fighting, that's all that matters. If you're worried, just hire more mercenaries. Inside, he thought. Why did it end up like this? To think that the hero died for nothing. He felt like he was falling apart. No, I don't want to die. I have to stay alive to make it back to a drama. Suddenly, a voice called out, snapping him back to reality. Maron, are you asleep? It was hard to tell due to his helmet. He gently turned to respond. I'm fine, Mayhem continued. It's just that everyone's been talking about this. Everyone on the carriage was cheerful. I'm heading to Heomon. We're going to a drama. You, Marin, did you say you're going to a drama too? Where are you headed? Marin replied. Visiting family at the orphanage in Sulim-Lias. It's been a long time since I've been back due to some business. People were curious. There's an orphanage there, I guess big cities would have one. A man asked quietly, but you look pretty tough, though. What level are you? Level, Marin was puzzled. Level, it's easier to travel together if we know each other's status. A window appeared. It shows the simplest stats to tell how strong you are. I'm already level 23. You might not be quite there yet, but keep at it. Marin slowly tapped on the system window and said softly, 95. Suddenly, the carriage shook violently. The driver shouted, It's here! Not far away, a monster's shadow was charging toward them. A panicked voice rang out. A red boar appeared. A red boar. It let out a terrifying roar. The man panicked and prepared to fight. Move fast! Don't let it crash into the carriage. It's too late. It's already right on top of us. Marin was curious. Is that a red boar? It looks a bit weird, like its name. System. Giant wild boar. Level 62. Attack 426. Defense 690. Level 62, huh? Perfect for a test. Marin picked up his sharp sword and slowly walked toward the red boar. The man screamed, What are you doing? Do you want to die? The red boar leaped high, intending to pounce on him. Maron stared at it with sharp eyes, then aimed straight and swung his sword. Bright red blood sprayed everywhere. Maron slowly turned his head, his body covered in blood. I actually took it down. Everyone stared in shock. Maron stood frozen, thinking to himself, Did I really just take it down? Even if the level difference is significant, is it really supposed to crumble after just one hit from me? Everyone marveled. Whoa, that guy is incredibly cool. He sliced that red boar in half in the blink of an eye. He sounds so young, yet he's that good. He's no ordinary person. Is he an elf or a beastkin? He waved his hands quickly. No, I'm just... Someone slapped his back hard, nearly making him stumble. All right, enough of that. Once the work is done, you've got to fill your belly. Come on, let's grab some dinner together. Marin remained calm and stood there, saying nothing more. As it grew dark, everyone started building a fire, chatting excitedly. By the way, who is this Marin guy anyway? He keeps his face covered all the time. It's really suspicious. His gear is all tattered too. Maybe he has some special skill. Mayhem grinned. Who knows? Maybe that old sword of his is a legendary treasure. Mickey waved a hand. Stop it. If you're curious, just ask him directly. Hey, Marin? She looked around and called out loudly, but no one answered. Wasn't Marin just standing over there? Huh, where did he go? Suddenly, everyone froze in horror at the sight before them. Maron was dragging the carcass of the red boar. A scream of terror rang out. Are you crazy? Mickey exploded, shouting. We were just about to eat. Why would you bring that thing here? Marin hesitated. I thought it would be better if we had some meat. Take that somewhere else right now. A spoonful of soup was lifted and a complaint followed. Oh my God, no matter how hungry you are, you shouldn't be like this. Eating dinner while dragging a monster corpse, who could handle that man? This is awful, you've ruined my appetite. He didn't understand what he had done wrong. He then scooped a spoonful and put it in his mouth, then froze as if he wanted to throw up. Mickey exclaimed. Hot soup, sweet melting potatoes. Marin criticized. You think this tastes good? She glared at him. We're camping in the middle of the woods. This is considered a fancy meal. Or were you expecting a steak dinner? Why are you looking at me like you're about to eat a human? Don't tell me you're actually planning to eat that thing. Wake up. Not to mention, it's disgusting. What if it's poisonous? Marin continued. Look, you have to process the monster carcass. Gather the necessary materials and burn the rest immediately. That's basic knowledge. She pouted. I'd rather starve to death than touch that thing. Oh, that's right. You're heading to a drama too, aren't you? It's a long way, so you should eat enough even if the food doesn't suit your taste. Hey, someone called out. Hey, you archer girl, come help me start this fire. The remains are all damp and hard to light. Mickey stepped over gently and said, Move aside, let me handle this in a heartbeat. Marin felt a bit suspicious. Why ask an archer to start a fire? Mickey cast a spell and a fire burst to life, leaving Marin completely stunned. Wow, magic is actually pretty convenient, huh? By the way, could I learn that too? I don't think so. It's simple and really useful, Marin insisted. Hey, did you come from the magic tower? Mickey asked curiously, wondering why he'd suddenly brought it up. Well, most mages come from there, right? A mage, I'm an archer. But you just used a fire spell earlier, didn't you? She sighed. You don't need to be a mage to do that. But mastering elemental magic takes 3 years, doesn't it? Huh. What era? Are you living in nowadays? Basic spells like this are mandatory for every adventurer. Mandatory. Did you live under a rock all this time? Look over there. Do you see those city lights over there? Don't tell me. Are all those powered by magic stones? Using magic stones instead of oil lamps, that's a first for me. It's rare in the countryside, sure, but nowadays even children's toys run on magic. Back when I was a kid, we didn't have stuff like this. Time flies. Marin stood there, lost in the past. The smell of grilled meat. I wish it were real pork instead of monster meat. Want a piece? Are you trying to kill me? I meant it'd be nice to grab a drink with everyone once the quest is finished. That sounds great. A cold glass of beer would be perfect. Marin just quietly watched the fire Mickey had created. From the east of a drama, an excited voice rang out. Oh my God! We're so lucky thanks to you this time because you took down that red pig. We arrived earlier than expected. If it weren't for you, Marin, I don't know what would have happened. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Marin felt sad. No, I'm the one who should be thanking you. Whispers broke out among the group. Has he been starving this whole time? From the start, he acted like he couldn't eat anything. He'd just throw up if he tried to swallow, so he only drank water. I thought he was just a picky eater, but turns out he's sick, and I've never once seen him take off that helmet. Don't tell me. He's a monster, is he? Mayhem handed something to Marin. Here, a small gift. Don't be a stranger. Marin was puzzled. This wasn't part of their deal, was it? He left before Marin could say, don't say that. It's the least I could do. Anyway, see you next time. Marin looked at the pastries he'd been given for a long time, lost in thought, then tossed them away without a second glance. As he walked away, he thought, after all that chaos, I've finally returned. My beloved hometown, East Adrama. The city has changed so much. That bakery is still as crowded as ever, isn't it? Just one more corner. The orphanage. I've missed so much, Lias. He froze at the sight before him. It wasn't the orphanage he imagined. Have I been away so long that I got the wrong street? No, this is definitely it. This is exactly where it should be. Why is there a strange toy shop here instead? A clerk asked curiously. Excuse me, sir, are you looking for something? Marin asked, what happened to the Lias orphanage? Where did it move to? It was right here. The clerk thought for a moment. Lias orphanage, I'm the second-generation owner of this shop. I've never heard that name before. Second generation. This has to be the right place. It's useless to keep asking. I've never heard of it. Someone called out, Marin, are you looking for Lias orphanage? You asked curiously. You know where that is, ma'am. I haven't seen it with my own eyes, but I've heard stories from a very long time ago. It used to exist. Used to exist. What do you mean? According to her memory. The old woman's next words struck like a bolt of lightning. It burned down in a single night. I believe it was a dragon attack. His eyes widened, his pupils constricting violently. Attacked by dragons. My life has always been as blank as a sheet of white paper. No memorable moments, no grand dreams. In that final moment, as everything flickered out, all I could think of was the warmth of the dinner table from back then with my loved ones who have already passed away. That was the end of my first life. Deep in Marin's heart. Wait, that's right. I was drowning underwater. But why is it so bright here? Is this the afterlife? The children stared curiously as he woke up. Sister, he's awake. What's going on? I remembered clearly that I had been in an accident. I told you not to shout like that, kid. You'll startle him since he just woke up. Someone pick him up so we can take a look. Sister gently held him and happily said, Sleep well, little one. Welcome to the Lias orphanage. From today on, you're a member of our family. That was my first memory in this world. A place with the warmth of a family I thought I would never feel again. A bag of money was placed on the table. This is this month's donation. Sister gently chided, I told you it wasn't necessary. But Maron replied, It's just a little gift for the kids to have some snacks. Sister worried, You just got back and you're leaving again already. You've been working too hard lately, she said. He replied cheerfully, Sister, you know I'm strong. It's a small thing, but you've been gone for so long this time I'm worried. This job is simple, I promise. I just need to clear out some goblins in the south and I'll be back. She looked sad. If you say so, I suppose it'll be fine, but promise me one thing before you go. What is it? Come home before the sun sets. I'll bake the berry pie you like. I promise. In front of a large tree, a voice rang out, You've come to the right person. After the dragon attack, most of the structures were rebuilt, but unfortunately no one at the orphanage survived. Currently, our church is taking care of the orphans. This grave hasn't been visited in a long time. Are you related to... Marin sat silently kneeling on the ground. She didn't press further. Sorry for bothering you, I'll take my leave. Maron's hand trembled as he reached out. I'll be back soon. I promise, don't worry so much. He felt deep regret. If only at that moment. If I had been there, would things have turned out any differently? The rain poured down and he leaned against the tree. Now there was no way to know. Forever and ever. When the rain finally stopped, two people chatted. Is the guy from the other day still there? Yeah, it's been a few days already. I wonder if he's going to be okay just sitting there like that. Must be too much pain. Maron still sat there silent, staring fixedly at the tombstone. A piece of pie was tossed onto the grass. She threw the pie down and left. Marin slowly picked up the pie and took a bite. Terrible. In his heart, he couldn't swallow anything. Every dish tasted equally awful. Seeing others eating the same thing happily, I know very well that I'm not normal. I can't even manage to fill my own stomach. Losing my family again, alone and isolated. What's the point of a miserable life like this? I wish I had just... Suddenly, he snapped his head up. What is that smell, meat? No, it's much more pungent. Different from everything I can't eat. Why is this so strangely tempting? Marin's mouth watered, and he stepped out of there, leaving the piece of pie lying on the grass. Marin followed the scent of the meat. He walked into a small alley. A sour voice rang out. I told you to turn up the fire. With a tiny flame like that, when will it ever finish burning? Don't you know dumping monster carcasses in the city carries a heavy fine? It smells so good, yet you're still complaining. How can you not tell the difference between regular meat and monster meat, you idiot? What if someone picks it up and eats it and dies? What then? It's not poisonous monster meat, stop worrying. If you're scared, take it outside the city to dump it. Maron looked at the meat thoughtful. It looked so good. He quickly grabbed the piece of meat and slipped away, leaving them wondering, we've burned so much already. Why is there still so little left? I went back to the gravesite holding the piece of meat in his hands and took a bite. He exclaimed, delicious, a miraculous flavor I've never tasted before. Even though it was a bit burnt, the meat was still sweet and savory. Every fiber of the meat oozed with rich, flavorful juices. It couldn't be compared to the bland, mediocre food from before. Every time he swallowed, his instincts flared up. Blood streaks trickled down. Maron realized he had bitten his own hand. He knelt, clutching his hand in pain, tears of regret streaming down his cheeks. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm sorry. In the end, I'm the only one left alive. I'm sorry, but I don't want to die. I want to live as a human to enjoy many more delicious meals. To be happy and live a full life. Do I deserve to live like that? Until dawn broke, the brilliant sunlight shone down. A fresh young green leaf slowly fell, as if an invisible hand were gently touching Marin's hand. He started returning to reality. Marin looked at the tombstone quietly for a long time. He sighed, bit his lip hard, and then slowly stood up. I'm going now. This time I won't be late again. That was the quiet beginning of my culinary journey. The tower looming in the center of a drama, the He-Salam Adventurers Guild, the starting point for every adventurer. Every journey begins at He-Salam, a reputable organization with a professional management system, specializing in taking requests from dungeon exploration to monster hunting. But don't think it's easy for just anyone to register. A small golem with a mechanical voice said, "Next person step forward." A girl with an overwhelming aura stepped up. The little golem almost fell over from her punch. It excitedly called out, "Testee number 5312 passed, 6th record of the day." Dahlia raised her hand powerfully. The crowd buzzed. That elf girl just got the highest score, the big muscular guy. Before that it was only just over 3,000. "Where did a prodigy like you pop up from, hey girl? Congrats on taking first place. If you don't have a party yet, want to team up with me? I actually have a bit of a reputation, you know. The two of us one team, we'd have enough power to climb to rank A." Dahlia looked annoyed and refused no. Marin shyly apologized. A voice rang out, "Aren't you going to try, Marin?" "Sorry, oh my god, are you even sure you can handle the test?" "Yes, of course I'm going to take the test." Dahlia smiled, looked at him, and placed a hand on his shoulder. "Don't be so tense. If your body is stiff, you won't be able to unleash your full strength." "Thanks." "No problem, people from the same hometown should look out for each other, right?" Marin was curious. "Same hometown?" A receptionist smiled sweetly. "Welcome, I've been waiting for you." The receptionist welcomed her. "Miss Dahlia, I heard you just took first place, is that true?" Dahlia was excited. "Word travels fast, congratulations to you too. You are now officially an adventurer of He-Salam." She held the paper and froze. "Wait, rank D I placed first, so why am I ranked so low?" The girl explained, "That's the regulation, ma'am. Everyone starts at rank D, but with your ability you'll rank up soon enough. In that case, can I take a quest right now so I can get started?" "Let's see. There are exactly 2 rank D quests left. 1 periodic extermination of the gargoyles at the villa level 15. 2 collect gremlin eyeballs appearing at the gargoyle villa. I'll just take those for now. But these quests require a party miss. What the gargoyle villa has been abandoned for so long that monsters are overbreeding. To avoid danger, rank D adventurers are required to go in groups. A group." Dahlia glanced around, seeing a man panting and a boy looking lost and confused. She sighed. "In a place like this, who am I supposed to find? Sorry, I think I'll pass for now." As she spoke, something slammed hard into the wall, causing it to collapse. A panicked voice shouted, "Is anyone hurt? Is everyone okay? Are you okay, miss?" "I'm fine. But what the hell just happened?" "I'm not sure." A small golem suddenly smashed through the wall. It weighs tons. Dahlia stared blankly at the hole in the wall. Marin was still in his battle stance, frozen in shock at the scene before him. He was embarrassed. This was a huge mess. He bowed his head low. "I'm so sorry, everyone." The receptionist panicked. "No need to apologize. Luckily, no one was hurt. This isn't part of the test, but this is the first time I've ever seen anything like this. I will compensate for the total damages, including the wall repairs, broken furniture, the cost of the golem, and business losses due to the disruption." She smiled and pointed at the paper. "The total is 2 gold and 30 silver coins." Maran emptied his pockets. They were completely empty, not even a single coin. "I understand. I can pay it off slowly, right? But if it takes too long, you'll be sued. I'll pay it back as soon as I can. Anyway, you're an official adventurer now. Just keep working hard on quests and you'll be able to pay off your debt." Dahlia spoke up. "By the way, there are only quests left that require a group. Come with me. I'm looking for teammates anyway, given the difficult situation, I guess." Marin thought to himself, "What is this elf planning?" System Dahlia level 36, race elf class archer, strength 42 intelligence, 39 agility, 49 luck 36. Someone chosen by the spirits with stats this well-rounded. Why would she want to team up with me? We can just split the quests. She's been acting suspiciously friendly since we were outside. Let's just do that for now. Actually going together is pretty convenient. The receptionist cheered. A warrior and an archer, what a perfect duo. Everything is settled then, Marin thought. Guess I have no choice but to accept for now. If she's capable enough, we can just handle our own parts of the quest. Dahlia continued. Also, no need to worry too much. We haven't introduced ourselves properly yet. I'm Dahlia, just call me Dahlia. Even though he was still suspicious, he decided to deal with his immediate troubles first. He shook her hand. Marin Glassy. Call me Marin. Nice to work with you, Marin. Let's complete our first quest together. I thought to himself. Even though I don't really want to, I have no choice. But if it's only temporary, it's not too bad. You do need to form a party to accept the quests anyway. The receptionist cheerfully congratulated the new party Dahlia the elf archer and Marin the human warrior, but then suddenly, wait, who are you? Dahlia's face darkened. A human. As Marin followed the map to the Gagoi mansion in the dungeon, an irritated voice snapped, "Damn it, what's taking so long?" Dahlia grumbled. What a jerk. Do I really have to team up with a human? Why on earth do I have to be in a party with such a low-life species? Deep down, Marin knew that long-lived races with their tall, elegant frames were often targeted as slaves, which was why their relationship with humans was already abysmal. Even though the receptionist at the guild seemed to show no bias, this was different. Suddenly, she looked up and glanced around. A beautiful yet eerie mansion appeared. This is worthy of being called a mansion. It's completely different from the daytime. Is this the target system? Gremlin monster level 18, attack 80, defense 52, a subspecies under the Gagoi. The older they get, the tougher and larger their bodies become. Looking at the swarming creatures, she felt disgusted. She turned to him with contempt. Hey, humans, stay away from me or you'll just get in the way of the mission. A short-lived, uneducated species like you really is just... I'm not saying anything else, just know your place. She widened her eyes in shock. Huh, what was that? Don't you dare look down on me. I wasn't even finished talking and you're just walking away. I've never seen anyone as rude as you. Is your lifespan so short that you didn't even have time to learn some manners? You're the one who started it. I'm over 100 years old, you know. Enough with the short-lived talk. What are you blabbering about? Just do what you said earlier. Let's just make sure we don't hold each other back, that's all. Hold on, are you planning to go in alone? The least you could do is prepare yourself. A gremlin is only level 18. Why would someone like you or me need to prepare? In her heart, Dahlia thought. Did this guy just read my stats? If he has a system skill powerful enough to do that, could he have? Suddenly her eyes went wide. Wait, no! Don't tell me! She pointed at Marin furiously. Did you dare to examine my information without my permission? How dare a lowly human like you? A monster quietly flew toward them. Dahlia screamed in anger. I know your kind is bottom of the barrel, but spying on someone's information is a total taboo. You have no morals. A monster growled in front of her. In a dungeon, you have to stay quiet. That's basic, isn't it? Dahlia irritably wiped the slime off her face. Fine, I saw your info when we greeted each other at the guild. Honestly, if you find it so annoying to be with me, then once the job is done, we'll just go our separate ways. Wouldn't that be better? Don't you dare hold me back, she snapped. Who's holding who back? You just focus on your parman. I'll take care of the Gagoi. You just finish off those gremlins. Got it, suit yourself. Marone punched a gremlin hard. 49, 50. That's plenty of eyeballs for now. While he was at it, he looked over to the other side. A wooden club shattered. The Gagoi level 21, a subspecies of the gremlin, its whole body composed of hardened stone. Dahlia was holding her bow, panting with exhaustion. The monsters lunged at her, making her scream. From a distance, Marone watched the scene thinking, forget it, she won't die. But I wonder what this tastes like. Which part should I eat, though? It looks a bit like a toad. Let's try cutting it open. I'll only take the edible parts. But there's so little. If there's not enough, I'll just put them on a skewer. If I just grill the meat, it might be bland. Let me try the organs, too. Who knows? Maybe it's like pork or beef, the organs might be the best part. He grilled it thoroughly. A hot, sizzling skewer of meat was ready. Gremlin skewer. Marin sniffed it. First time cooking, and it actually looks pretty decent. He took a bite and chewed. Delicious, honestly, monster meat tastes better than common animal meat. If I had to compare, it's more like duck than chicken. It's a bit bitter and has a pungent smell. Maybe it would be better with sauce. His head started to spin. System, you have been lightly poisoned. He collapsed to the floor. Status poisoned. What is this? Poison that bitter taste. It wasn't the seasoning, it was the toxin. What am I supposed to do without an antidote? I need to detoxify. Wait, detoxify. Gremlins aren't a species known for using venom. If they carry poison themselves, there must be a self-resistance mechanism, and the organ responsible for that is the liver. Let's try it. The system popped up, successfully neutralized gremlin toxins. Marin breathed a sigh of relief. I survived. That was too close. So the reason people don't eat monsters isn't just because they're gross. From now on, I need to study how to make antidotes, too. Dahlia rushed forward, looking panicked. What the hell are you doing? She stammered at the sight of the mess on the floor, covering her nose and shaking her head. I know humans are barbaric, but I never imagined you were this insane. How can you even eat that stuff? Wait, I know you elves are vegetarians, but that doesn't give you the right to look down on or mock people who eat meat, he snapped back. You think this is about respect or understanding humans? Not only do I have to be in a party with a human, but now I have to witness this nightmare. This is truly a living nightmare. I just want to go back to the World Tree roots right now. My goodness, your Gremlin Eye mission is already done. Once the job is finished, get lost. Why are you still hanging around? Marin explained, I accepted the mission on the condition that we travel together. If we split up on our own and something happens, who takes responsibility? It would cause trouble for not just us, but for Gilbert's staff and the mission itself. She argued stubbornly. That's my problem. He continued. There's still a bit of the mission left. I'll help you wipe out the Gagoi. You want to finish this quickly, don't you? Dahlia still resisted. I don't need help from a human like you. It'll be done soon, just wait. She asked curiously. What is that? He replied. I forgot to mention I'm a shield knight. With his provoke skill, he drew the attention of nearby monsters. Countless gremlins swarmed in, and even the Gagoi lost control of themselves, seeing his actions. Dahlia lost patience. What kind of trick are you playing? What does a shield knight have to do with bashing crates? Her face darkened, her legs trembling. Wait, don't tell me. A shield knight is the frontline backbone of the party, using their signature provoke skill to draw monster aggression and protect their teammates. She screamed and backed away. You crazy human! It's usually used to protect the rear guard, but it's also effective for luring flocks of monsters. But is it really this effective? Seriously? Not important. Sword skill. Friction sword. Active trigger on use. Toxic blade damage increases with level. Friction B active sustain enhancement. Increase melee attack speed. Hearing the sound of Maron's shield, countless monsters were drawn in. Damn it, this guy is turning this into a total disaster. I'm going to keep my distance. From now on, I'm only supporting from afar. Suddenly, her eyes widened, her pupils contracting violently. No way! Marin was fighting with all his might against countless monsters alone. I struggle just to take down 5 Gagoi. What exactly is this guy? Someone was rushing to catch up. Hey, wait, what happened? Dahlia asked, worried. Are you really okay? You basically took them all out by yourself. Maron replied calmly, This is a group mission, there's no need to divide the credit. Didn't you say you wanted to finish early? But as you said, I'm only cooperating to finish the mission quickly. You poor foolish. Wait, do you hear that noise is... Wait a second. Maron was startled. Do elf ears really move like that? Dahlia's face sank, her legs starting to lose control. Suddenly, what are they doing? She looked down. A group of 2 men were talking. You idiots, it's not a monster. It's just a deer running by, and you couldn't even avoid that. I told you we had to get to the black market by tomorrow. Who knew it would crawl into a rock crevice? Then they kicked an elf hard in the back. Hurry up! Are we going or not, you bastard? Dahlia was absolutely horrified by the sight. The elf pleaded repeatedly, Please don't hit me anymore. She gritted her teeth. See that, Marin? That's why I hate you humans. You talk all big about abolishing slavery, but behind your backs you're still trafficking other races. Pick up your weapon. Maron, we have to teach them a lesson. He replied calmly, Why should I do that? Dahlia looked at him surprised. Huh, what proof is there that the elf is an illegal slave? They could have been captured due to debt or crime. She shouted, I just clearly heard them say they were heading to the black market. Then let's go back and report it to the guards. I don't want to waste time on side issues that aren't part of the mission. I thought you were a bit different. Turns out you're just another human. In her heart, she sighed. I guess I have to do it alone. A soft, whimpering sound caught Marin's attention. The sobbing was coming from that carriage. The little elf dived into his mother's arms. Mom, I'm scared. I'm here. It's all right, be a good child. Dahlia hesitated. Can I really do this? No, the attack training I went through was for moments like this. There's no other way. The pain of my own kind. I will... She raised her bow, but before she could finish, an object flew past and smashed the carriage to pieces. The villains scattered, cursing angrily. What the hell? What's going on now? The sword. Dahlia hesitated. You said you weren't going to help, didn't you? Maron replied calmly. I don't care about grown-up business, but children are innocent. Curses rang out. What the hell is this? Where did that sword come from? You idiots, look up there. You people, what the hell are you doing? Dahlia and Maron stood there looking at them with contempt. How dare you cause such trouble? Do you really think you're going to get away with this? Dahlia pointed a finger straight at him, trembling with rage. You filthy human who gave you the right to be so insolent with me! I know perfectly well that my own kind are being held captive in that carriage. But they just stubbornly insisted these are legal slaves recognized by Marquis Besta. She hesitated for a moment. Marquis Besta, don't believe me, want to see for yourself. Look at his official seal hanging all over the carriage. Dahlia looked as if she were crumbling. No way! Marin spoke up. This is strange. The seal on the carriage isn't Besta's. Hey you! What kind of nonsense are you spouting? It's clearly the wolf emblem of Marquis Besta, but the wolf's eyes are completely intact. The Besta family ancestors were blind in one eye, so the family crest is supposed to reflect that trait. That means this seal with both eyes intact is a fake. The man started panicking, cold sweat pouring down. The penalty for impersonating a noble is execution. Get them, kill them all. There are only 2 of them. Back in the day, mercenaries had an unwritten rule to avoid conflict, but things are different now, aren't they? Marin immediately lunged, sending the man crashing to the ground. The man's eyes rolled back as he coughed violently, falling into a pile of sand that sprayed everywhere. No way! He took down that giant in one blow. You bastards still want to keep going. Surrender. At a mansion, an elegant voice rang out. Thank you for saving us. How can we ever repay you for this? Dahlia waved her hand dismissively. How could I just stand by and watch my own kind being treated like slaves? I only did what was right. I'm truly grateful. She turned back to Maron, happily apologizing for making him wait. He replied coldly, Are you done? She continued, The illegal slave traders have already been handed over to the patrol. They'll be met by their families in the city, and as for the charge of impersonating nobles, they'll surely get what's coming to them. Sir, a small timid voice called out, Did you really save us? You're super cool, thank you so much. Truly thank you both. We'll be on our way now. Maron the armored knight remained deep in thought, not saying another word. Dahlia asked, Maron, I never imagined I'd see the day I'd have to say this to a human, but thanks for coming. Even though I hate to admit being helped by a human, the truth is thanks to you my people were saved. His words left her stunned. Then pay me. What? He repeated. If you want to thank me, pay me in money. You want money for a thank you? She said, shaking with anger. Don't tell me you only helped me in the dungeon because of money too. It's not like that, but money makes things much clearer, she thought. As if I'd ever thank a money-grubbing human like you. She threw a bag of money at him. Take it and get lost. You petty money-obsessed human. After this, don't ever expect me to trust your kind again. Well, I got the money, so that's that, I suppose. The next day at the guild. Salim, we've confirmed the required amount. The receptionist happily congratulated him. You've completed your first mission. You worked hard. A first mission that was quite difficult at that. You completed it so quickly and perfectly. Yes, thank you. Oh, and here is the reward for this mission. As he received the meager amount he thought. The reward is this small. Excuse me, this seems a bit short. Please note per guild regulations until your debt is fully paid, your rewards will be automatically deducted. We hope you understand. He stuttered, I will pay off my debt as soon as possible. Then I have to pick up another mission right away. Be careful out there. Since it's like this with the money, maybe I should try something different this time. What missions are suitable for my current level? Periodic Dungeon Extermination. Store Dungeon Level 15. All Stone Monsters. Skip. Main Quest Orc Tent. I've never been there before. I wonder what orc meat tastes like. Probably like regular pork. A voice rang out. Hey, who's this? Is that Marin Mickey? I'm happy to run into you here. I heard you were working as a mercenary, but you've switched to being an adventurer. Maron replied. Oh, the person from the carriage that day. She gave him a powerful, friendly slap on the back. Back then, seeing you struggle to eat, I thought you'd starve to death sooner or later. Who would have thought you'd still be alive and kicking? Yeah, I'm just glad to see you're doing well, too. Is there something wrong, Mickey? Oh, sorry, I was just so happy I started rambling. Maron, let me introduce you. These are my teammates. I'm the group leader, Mickey Onga. This is Marin Glassy, the strong but difficult mercenary I told you about. Ah, I've heard a lot about you. Nice to meet you. Maron thought. What exactly did she tell them about me? She continued. Olga is an archer just like me, and this is Hake, our party's mage. The 3 of us have been a team for a long time. 2 archers and a mage. That's a bit of a weak party composition. Only 3 of you. Who's handling the vanguard? Oh, right, Mickey. You're useless at it, aren't you? Usually we'd hire a mercenary, but it's been a week and we still haven't found anyone, so we can't get into the dungeon. Or as Hikett says, magic has become so easy to learn lately that hardly anyone wants to be a vanguard. Then she reaches out her hand and says, "So Maron, do you want to join our party as a vanguard and hit the orc dungeon with us?" Maron is completely taken aback when he hears that. Under a brilliant blue sky, the sunlight shines down on an orc chasing Mickey. Suddenly, an arrow strikes it right in the eye, causing it endless agony. Mickey cheers, "Nice shot, Olga." The orc's face is sizzling as it rolls to the ground. "Our teamwork is on point today. We've already taken down 2 of them right off the bat, thank goodness. I was worried I wouldn't finish my incantation in time and die. Ever since Maron joined, the hunting has gone so smoothly." Wait, what's this, an earthquake? No, it's a swarm of angry orcs rushing toward them. Everyone panics. A whole swarm of orcs! How did they suddenly gather in such numbers? Mickey shouts in frustration. Damn it! Did those guys' screams from earlier call their kin? We'd better run for now. Suddenly, Hikett trips over a rock and falls in pain. Hikett, a crazed orc, lunges toward her. She looks back in terror. Oh no! Suddenly, the orc is sent flying away, making her jump in surprise. Huh! Its head is severed from its body, blood spraying everywhere. Maron stands there with his sword. Hikett, are you okay? I'm fine. Did he really take down that whole pack of orcs just like that, Maron? Just how strong are you exactly? Olga breaks out in a cold sweat. That's 10 of them. Let's stop here and rest for today. Mickey complains. I shot so much my shoulders feel like they're about to fall off, but man, Maron is terrifying. What level do you have to be to get that strong? She continues. Anyway, as long as Hikett is safe, that's what matters. Hikett speaks up. That's right, I was so panicked earlier I forgot to thank him. She turns around, but Maron is nowhere to be seen. Thank you, Maron, for saving me earlier. He was just standing here. Her nose twitches. She smells something. Is this the smell of grilled meat? Mickey asks curiously. Meat in the middle of a dungeon. Maron, what are you doing all by yourself? She walks over and taps Maron on the shoulder. So it was your meat. You could have told us you were grilling. There's a type of mushroom that tastes way better when grilled with the meat. Want to try some? Then she notices the orc head lying on the ground and screams in horror. An orc! Wait, what are you planning to do with that? The quest didn't say anything about grilling orc meat. Grilled orc thigh. I thought it would be like pork, but grilled it tastes like a mix of beef and pork. Maron raises it to his mouth to take a bite. I wonder which flavor will be more dominant. It's delicious. Every chew releases rich, savory juices. The authentic taste of grilled meat. Perfect. It's definitely closer to pork than beef. It's got a lot of fat, so it's super soft and juicy. Mickey cries out, Stop eating that! Why are you eating that thing? My stomach is turning. Oh Lord, please don't let me fall into the tempter's trap. Purify these unclean things and bring peace to this land. Next, just sprinkle a little salt and pepper and grill it. There's no way it could taste bad then. Sure enough, I was right. It's rich and pairs perfectly with the pepper. It's a bit greasy, but it'd probably go great with some ale, right? Olga watches curiously. Is he really enjoying eating monster meat? Mickey is shaking. I want to believe I'm just dreaming. The 3 of them huddle together. Hikett, Olga, come here for a sec. Deep down, Maron thinks. Looks like I'll have to part ways with this group, but this meat. If I took this orc home and processed it, it would probably taste great. Suddenly, a hand is placed on his shoulder. Maron, Olga says cheerfully, I understand your strange hobbies, but eating it out in the open. Honestly, I can't stand it. I heard there are places where people have to eat monster meat out of starvation. Is that why you can't eat normal food? You guys aren't kicking me out. How could we kick out such a skilled warrior just because of your unique palate? I brought some cookies, want to share with everyone. No need, it's getting dark. If you're done eating, let's go to sleep. I've got some jerky, want some? Just stop it. A massive orc appears. Everyone gets ready for battle. The orc bares its fangs and lunges, slashing hard at Maron's protective shield. Everyone quickly counterattacks. By nightfall, Maron is grilling meat as usual. Mickey speaks up. Maron, today was the last day of the quest, huh? Are you planning to sleep by yourself until the end? He replies, yeah, it's more comfortable that way. Olga calmly says, I'll handle the watch. Hikett adds, thank you, good night, everyone. The sound of the campfire is so peaceful. Why does a mage always go around picking fights? Hey, over here, you went so far to get firewood and the fire's already lit. An angry voice booms out. Marin and Glassy jump up confused. Why is everyone awake? It's not my shift yet. Don't move, Hykett continues. The incantation is already finished. Move and you'll lose your head. You just need to answer our questions. While you were sleeping, I used an appraisal stone to check your info. You're abnormally strong and you aren't even injured, so I want to know, what level are you? Mickey trembles, pointing at him. But, Maron, what is that? What the hell is this cannibal title of yours? Marin Glassy level unknown. Race human. Titles Wolf Tamer heir to the Magic Tower Intermediate Knight Kinslayer. He spoke softly. Kinslayer, a title for a cold-blooded killer who slaughtered over 100 of their own kind. When facing one's own species, attack power increases by 5%. Mickey trembled. You killed over 100 people. How could you? This can't be brushed off easily. Olga tried to explain. If you became an adventurer for the Black Ginseng Guild without any issues, your criminal record should have been clean, right? But this is completely different. Everyone angrily demanded to know why he had such a title. If it's a misunderstanding, then explain yourself. Marin, why aren't you saying anything? Did you intend to take our lives from the very beginning? Maron finally spoke up. That's not it. Then explain it. Why do you have the Kinslayer title? Just bow your head and apologize. Olga continued. Even if you have your reasons, you must know this isn't something we can just overlook. I don't care if you eat monsters or have an abnormally high level, but I can no longer trust someone who has killed so many people. Leave our party immediately. Maron stood up instantly. Fine, I understand. He grabbed his luggage and left quietly. 100 years ago, in the southern forest, many monsters roared. A cheerful voice rang out, "We hit the jackpot!" Someone asked, "Is anyone hurt shooting down two at once? That's top-tier skill." Another replied sarcastically, "Is that all you're going to praise me for? There are 18 more. Let's go, stop yapping and move. Did you gather enough proof of the kill the scales? Yes, leader. Let's get moving." But that receptionist at the guild is so annoying. She always looks down on people. Who knows, she's pretty decent to me. Maybe it's just you. But unexpectedly, the number of goblins is lower than we thought. Maybe because we're just at the edge of the forest. If we go deeper into the center, there will definitely be a pack. Right. Maybe they were scared of our skills and hid. Just hearing you lie about monsters is terrifying. Huh, hey, did you guys not hear me? They turned back to look at Maron with bloodshot, terrifying eyes. Why did you do that to us? Why were you the only one to survive? Maron bolted awake from the dream. He looked outside, feeling empty inside. Downstairs, people were laughing and talking happily. As he stepped down, he immediately drew everyone's attention. People whispered in unison, "Hey, the iron helmet is over there. Is that him?" Don't make eye contact. It's definitely him. The killer who threatens and extorts money from rookie adventurer parties. Does the guild really allow someone like that to exist? I thought to himself, it's only been a few days and the rumors have already spread everywhere. People like that always blow rumors out of proportion, Marin thought. He decided not to confront them. The receptionist spoke up, "Welcome, adventurer. I have something to hand over to you. Marin Glassy, effective today, you have been promoted to a C-rank adventurer." Huh, I haven't taken the promotion exam yet. The C-rank promotion exam was abolished years ago. Now you just need to accumulate achievements within the designated period to be automatically promoted. Maron thought to himself. Another thing that has changed, huh? At least I don't have to smash small golems again. Can I see the C-rank quests now? Yes, here you go. Among the remaining C-rank requests, this one. Marin thought. Write higher rank, more diverse options. On the paper it was written Harpy. Level 30 request to purchase harpy feathers. Marin thought to himself, harpy. Well, it's a bird species, so it probably tastes like chicken, right? I've already eaten pork, so now it's time for chicken. Dahlia slammed her hand on the table, looking at Maron, and asked, "Who is this? What a money grubber," she continued. "With your short lifespan, you actually dare to... You have guts, human." Dahlia turned to ask, "By the way, I heard you killed over 100 humans. Your reputation in the adventurer world is quite legendary, isn't it?" Marin turned coldly and said, "I accept the harpy extermination quest." Dahlia started shouting, "Hey, hey! Don't look down on me, human. We went through the trouble of coming here to show kindness to someone hated by their own kind." Hitta spoke from behind the two of them. "Dan, is this the human you mentioned?" Dahlia turned around and replied, "Oh, you've arrived." Hitta walked in front of the two with a confident demeanor. Dahlia reached out to introduce, "Let me introduce you, this is our party leader." Hitta also reached out to greet him. "Greetings, human. I am Emoto Catlet Cherokee. I've heard a lot about you from Dan." Dahlia yelled, "Wait, why are you saying such unnecessary things? Marin thought to himself, a beastkin. Looking at the equipment, he seems to be a martial artist. Marin's system began to analyzing Emoto Catlet Cherokee level 59 race beastkin occupation priest. Attack 382, defense 333, strength 72, intelligence 49, agility 36, luck 9. Titles: Arena Hero, Intermediate Martial Artist, Electric Nerve. Marin looked at Hitta and thought, the strength stat is indeed the highest compared to the others. He thought to himself again. Did I misread it? Hitta smiled and introduced himself. And as you can see, my job is a priest, Maron countered. I'm looking at you, and that's definitely not the vibe I'm getting. He thought to himself, then said aloud, priests are support classes focused on healing, but you don't look like a priest at all. There isn't a holy bone in your body, Dahlia added. I'm looking for a party of different races instead of those insufferable humans. I just happened to see the recruitment notice. A party that hates humans, you mean? She continued. Right now it's just me and Dan, but we heard rumors about you in the guild, so we wanted to offer you a spot. Maron replied, rumors. Dahlia raised her hand and said, exactly. Since you're a human who holds the title of Kinslayer, I'll make an exception for you. I interjected, I heard your skills are top-notch, so as the leader I officially approve. Marin asked, wait, what are you people talking about? Dahlia looked annoyed. Honestly, you short-eared humans are so slow on the uptake. Hitta gestured toward him and said, hey, join our party. We're making a special exception for a Kinslayer as impressive as you. Marin turned around and said, like hell I'm accepting an offer like that. Hitta retorted, if you turn us down, do you really have any other options? He looked back over his shoulder and muttered, ah. Marin thought to himself, right. Once the rumor about me being a Kinslayer spreads, I won't be able to find any other party. Fine. I'll tag along with you guys for now. Hitta grinned and shook his hand. A smart decision. She raised her hands in the air excitedly, continuing, great. Let's head out and test your strength and how well we coordinate. Marin turned and asked, head out where? Hitta's eyes widened. Where do you think? She pointed at the map and said, to the dungeon, of course. Hitta pointed towards some giant eagles and said, first we have to take care of those. The eagles prepared to swoop down, and Marin thought, giant eagles are a real pain for a shield user like me. Marin looked up and wondered, if I jump, could I reach them, huh? The eagles were suddenly shot down. They fell from the sky. Having an archer along is actually pretty convenient. Dahlia lowered her bow and shouted, don't you dare try to steal my kills again, human. If you're a shield user, just stand there and keep guard. An eagle dove toward them. From far away, Hitta screamed, hey, human, get that shield up right now. She stepped onto Maron's shield and vaulted into the sky. At the same time, Hitta lunged at the eagle, punching it right in the beak. She landed as the eagle crashed in a pathetic defeat. Hitta turned to him and said, not bad reflexes for a human, good coordination. Marin coolly replied, next time try giving me a heads up. He stood there thinking, well, whatever. Having teammates to fight with isn't exactly the worst thing, I guess. Hitta put her hands on her hips and said, at this rate our teamwork is actually pretty solid. We've already taken down 3 right at the start. Dahlia followed up, let's take a break while we gather the loot. Marin looked down at the golem and asked, what is this? Dahlia stepped up. You really are a country bumpkin, aren't you? Just crawled out of the deep woods, huh? Don't you know living dolls are all the rage now? Marin asked, living dolls like a golem. She continued, that's right. A golem, a pet powered by mana. The one in front of you is a limited edition Poco. It's worth 2 gold coins. Marin thought, so this kind of thing exists now. As Dahlia picked up the golem, she cooed, oh my little baby, you went and gathered the feathers again, didn't you? Such a good boy. She hugged the golem and added, it runs on mana so it doesn't need to eat. If it breaks, it doesn't die. If you raise it well, it even helps in battle. And it helps with gathering pretty impressive right. Hitta waved her hand and said, enough already. You're not a child. Dan also has a thing for cute stuff, I guess. Dahlia looked at Maron in a panic. She rushed forward and said, I'll say it again, this is a golem, not food, okay? Maron walked slowly behind them and replied, who said it was? Hitta chuckled. Just shut up and get back to hunting. Dahlia sat down on the ground. With the luck we've had today, we'll probably catch more, right? Hitta agreed. Things are going so smoothly. Hitta turned and said, but why is he so shy about introducing himself? He fights well. Maybe it's just because he's a human. Dahlia looked over. No, it's a special situation. Hitta suddenly sniffed the air. Huh. Why does it smell so good all of a sudden? Is that Grilled chicken. Dahlia looked behind her and said, "No way." Hita screamed, "Wait a minute. Where did Maron go? If you dare eat that by yourself, you're not getting away with it." Dahlia shouted from behind, "Hey, wait, don't walk away. Imoto, stop him." The tray of meat was already sitting next to the oil pan. Maron added the meat to the pan and said, "Lightly seasoned with salt. The pan is nice and hot. Time to start grilling." As he watched, he said, "The sound of meat sizzling always puts me in a good mood. Flip it evenly so it doesn't burn and let's get it on the plate." Maron continued, "Done. Grilled happy loin." He took off his mask, took a bite, and savored it. "Looks just like chicken. Happy are birds too, right? I bet they taste similar," I keep thinking. Delicious. The texture is like chicken, but the umami is way stronger. Not gamey at all, and it just melts in your mouth with a nice subtle sweetness. As Marin keeps rambling, Dahlia lunges from behind and screams, "Stop it right now, damn it, I knew it." "What is wrong with you?" Marin says calmly, "Sorry for snacking behind your back. I'd share if you were hungry." Dahlia puts her hand to her head. "You think I'm mad over something so trivial? Stop eating something that has a human face so casually." Hita rubs her head and groans, "That's truly the most horrifying thing I've ever seen. I thought I'd seen it all, but I'm still just a rookie." The two of them drop to their knees and scream, "Wait! Happy faces are nothing like human faces anatomically. They're closer to fish camouflage. How can you even talk about that right now?" "Dahlia, I'm witnessing this nightmare for the second time already." Suddenly, Hita catches a whiff of the aroma. Her eyes light up at the plate of meat. She starts thinking, "No, that's a monster. Why am I thinking it looks delicious again? I hate myself so much. Stop staring at that blasphemous thing." Marin turns to them and asks, "You want some, huh?" Dahlia retorts, "Are you kidding? You're still offering us a bite?" He starts showing off, "Too bad for you, it's really good." Hita stares at the meat eyes gleaming and says, "You human, do you dare challenge me?" Dahlia grabs her head, "Hey, calm down, Imuto." The two of them continue screaming at each other. "Why does a monster smell so good, for heaven's sake?" Suddenly Maron remembers, "Oh, I forgot the stew." He opens the lid and thinks, "Took a while, but it's cooked just right." When I look at him and ask, "You're gonna eat that too? There's barely any meat on it." Marin turns and replies, "Yeah, I want to see how boiled happy feet taste without seasoning." As he eats, he thinks, simmered long enough so the meat is soft like pudding and super sweet. The collagen is chewy, the meat isn't mushy, so that's a happy foot. So that's how it is. He continues, "I bet it's best mixed with spicy sauce. I've got to take one home and marinate it the right way." Dahlia replies, "You are driving me absolutely insane." Dahlia screams in frustration again, "Wait, what are you eating?" Marin turns around coldly and asks, "Want some?" She lunges forward, knocks the foot out of Marin's hand and says, "Happy feet have numbing poison in the claws." "You idiot." Dahlia turns to her, "Hey, Imuto, detoxify him." Hita replies casually, "I don't know how." Dahlia screams, "You don't know, that's a basic priest spell." Hita answers, "It was a hassle, so I didn't learn it." An eagle flies in from behind. Dahlia explodes, "Damn it, it's because you were messing around that we got their attention. It's all your fault." As I reach out to fire a blast at it, "Get out of the way instead of healing. Let me finish him off with the spell I just learned." "Wait, don't be reckless." A flame flies toward the eagle, a blazing fire. "Poco," Dahlia says with trembling hands. "What a nightmare. I haven't even had my Poco for a week." Hita looks at them exhausted. Dahlia screams, "You jerk, how dare you hurt my Poco?" Hita replies, "It was a rank F skill I missed." Dahlia keeps screaming, "You're my mortal enemy. Even if it takes 5,000 years, I won't forget you." Hita smirks, "I'll buy you a new one, stop being so mad." Marin hits the dirt and says, "Poco, it was a limited edition. Where am I going to find another one now?" Hita says, "I already said I'm sorry." What a total mess. The receptionist says, "Yes, the happy hunt mission is complete. Please discard the happy meat." Dahlia looks up at the sky and says, "I'm so exhausted today. Way too many things happened." Hita turns to ask, "Are you really not going to wait for me to buy a new Poco? Don't regret it later." She looks at Maron and asks, "Huh?" Hita shouts, "Wait, what are you grabbing now? Are you planning on eating more?" Marin replies, "It'd be a waste since I prepped it so carefully." Hita laughs mockingly and shouts, "Are you going to pull some stunt in front of everyone else? At least put it in your inventory." The system inventory board appears. Active storage non-attribute private space created by Mana. Can store all items except living beings. Limit 30 slots, 100 kilograms. Marin touches the system interface and thinks, So that's what this is. I completely forgot about it. He thinks further. And I've been carrying this heavy backpack everywhere. What an idiot. No wonder everyone was looking at me so weirdly. Maron puts his hand on his head thinking, how long have I been forgetting? Even something this basic. I keeps thinking, is my brain that guy? Hita turns and asks, so what do you think? Even though it ended in chaos, we're all strong and we work well together, right? Marin replies coldly. Huh. Yeah, okay. Hita reaches out her hand. Then officially join our party. As long as we fight together, there's no mission we can't complete. Hita reached out to shake Marin's hand and said, officially welcome to the team. Marin looked at Dahlia and Hita thinking to himself, a formal team, huh? Even though they were all a bunch of weirdos, their skills were nothing to sneeze at. It really was better to have teammates than to be a loner. He replied softly, yeah, all right, I'm in. Hita was thrilled. Hita cheered, awesome, let's go register the team officially right now. Dahlia looked at Maron and said, despite everything that's happened, you're my teammate now. She gave a small smile and continued, do cherish every fleeting moment of your human life, Marin Glass. Dahlia held out her hand and said, looking forward to working with you. Marin stood there, lost in thought, then said, yeah, looking forward to it. As he held out his hand, he pulled out a piece of paper and said happily, did you wait long? I just got back from registering the team. Dahlia and Maron read it together and she said, ta-da, the name is, she thought to herself with a look of utter confusion. Chaos, Dahlia shouted. What do you mean, chaos? You registered that ridiculous name as our team name. Hita replied, this was the leader's decision after all. Dahlia snapped back, a leader isn't supposed to abuse their power like that. First of all, why did you even pick that word? Hita recalled the moment thinking, back at the happy party I heard a human whisper, what a total chaos. It just stuck in my heart and I loved it. I don't know why. I don't even know what it means, but it just hit home, Dahlia cried. A total chaos. Who names a team like that? Dahlia continued to yell, the team name is supposed to be decided by all the members you know. Hita sighed and replied, none of you suggested anything else, so just respect the leader's decision, would you? Dahlia looked up at the sky and screamed, my future legendary feats will be under the name Chaos O World Tree. Why do you burden me with such bitterness? Maron thought to himself as he walked out. The team name is weird, but it's not the end of the world. Just let it be. I'm going back to my room to grill the rest of that happy meat. Hita asked from the corner. Hey, human, where are you going? Where are you going, human? Marin replied coldly. Back to the inn. Hita said excitedly. When you have a new member, you have to throw a welcome party. We'll celebrate the new member and completing the mission. Let's go blow the reward money on drinks. Maron replied. No, I'm good. Hita kept pestering him. A welcome party without the new member. What's the point of that? Come on, follow us. Eat and drink to your heart's content today, but seriously, I still can't accept that chaos name. The application is already submitted, so give it up, lady man, this elf is persistent. Whose fault is it anyway? This looks pretty good, actually. Let me try a bite. At least pick something cool like Star Sticker Memoria or something. You call those cool? Your taste is terrible, Dan. It's awful like chewing on hot newspaper, forget it. Hey, I have something to tell Marin. Oh, you mean that, what is it? About our team's goal. Actually, our goal is to become an A-rank team as quickly as possible. A-rank why? Because we all have our own reasons. Every adventurer in Hisalem starts at D-rank. You can rank up through exams, but the highest rank an adventurer can usually reach is B-rank. From A-rank and above, you need to have your skills and accomplishments officially recognized. The exam content is also kept secret. Hardly anyone knows what it's like. Only elite members recognized by the guild can achieve it. My little ones were taken as slaves by those people, so I need a lot of money to set them free. That guy agreed to let me go in 3 years if I earn enough money, and he promised that he wouldn't hurt or touch them during those 3 years. My family was enslaved after the revolution, and no one saved us. To be free, I have no choice but to pay the ransom. Revolution. You don't know what the revolution was. It was a massive event that happened recently. How can a human not know that? Oh, right. You've lived alone in the forest for 100 years. Let me explain it to you briefly. For centuries, humans have been kidnapping other races for trafficking. They captured us elves for our mysterious beauty, and they captured wolves to exploit their technology like machines. And they treat beastkin like low-class animals, taking them as slaves. My family was among them. They lock up everyone they catch so they can never escape. Exploited to satisfy desires in that inescapable prison, our people were physically and mentally drained. Those who failed to escape all met a tragic end. That exploitation dragged on for centuries until finally the oppressed races weary of the tyranny formed an alliance. The races that had once lived apart joined forces to stand against humanity. And so the revolution broke out. Humans called it the race war. We issued many demands, including the abolition of slavery, and we threatened to declare war if humanity did not comply. At first, humans tried to act tough, but unlike us, who had nothing left to lose, they had too much to protect. In the end, they were forced to accept our terms and sign a treaty. Because of that, the slave trade became illegal, and terms protecting the territories of other races were passed. Only then did our people who had been hiding in the shadows slowly emerge. Now you can see many races walking freely on the streets. I and Emoto can work as adventurers precisely because of that treaty. That's how it is. So as soon as I was free, I became an adventurer. If you want to make money fast, this is the best job. You have such a treaty. I don't know about that. But what is your reason? As for me, it's to become the elder of the forest where I live. My family has been elders for generations, and it's my turn now. But the problem is, this position is mandatory only for the eldest child of each generation. My older sister hates the position, but everyone keeps insisting she take it using tradition as an excuse. Because I am confident that I am the best at protecting the forest after hearing my plea. My people decided that if I could accomplish a convincing feat in the outside world before I turn 150, they would grant me the title of elder. Even though reaching A rank as an adventurer isn't enough, it's a necessary stepping stone for me to achieve a greater goal. From slaves to an elder, everyone has a valid reason. Anyway, since we each have our own goals, I hope you'll join us and help out. If you have a similar goal, that's even better. Hey human, don't you have a goal? I'm Marin. If it's hard to say, you don't have to answer. Perhaps I'm doing this for that very reason. I have a dragon that I want to kill. Dahlia stares stunned and asks, Huh? Hida also echoes, a dragon. Marin recounts the old stories, saying the dragon once attacked a drama, burning the entire city into a sea of flames. He continues coldly, I want to kill it. And before I meet that dragon, I have things I need to do. Hita and Dahlia look at Marin with strange expressions. Marin thinks to himself, do they think I'm talking nonsense? Dahlia looks at her cup and says, Hey human. She asks, I thought you were someone without any ambition. But here you are, a human daring to harbor an ambition even greater than ours. Kita also smiles and says, What are you planning to eat the dragon too? You're actually crazy, Dahlia continues. Anyway, you'll rank up quickly with us, right? You have to be high-ranked to participate in a dragon hunt. The three of them clink their glasses together and say, So we share the same goal now, let's do our best. One morning in a certain town, Marin sits by the stove. So, yesterday we officially formed the party. Let's rest at home today and make a decent meal. He pours his money out and thinks, I just bought the ingredients and my pouch is already empty. After paying for the inn, I probably won't have a cent left. Marin pours oil into the pan and says, It's expensive, but whatever, let's heat the oil first. He raises his hand and says, Retrieve. Marin reaches into the system. He looks at the meat tray still fresh and says, Oh, the meat is still as fresh as when I first bought it. Marin looks at the stove and thinks, It stays in the exact same state as when I put it in the storage. This is truly the perfect food storage. He cracks an egg into a bowl and says, Crack the eggs to make the batter first. Marin continues adding flour, mixing the breadcrumbs, and coating it evenly. He continues to put the coated meat into the pan. Now into the hot oil. Looking at the sizzling oil, Marin says, This sound is so satisfying no matter how many times I hear it. Looking at the meat, he says, When it's golden brown, flip it a few times to get it crispy. For the second time, Marin slowly lifts it onto a plate. Finally, he drains the oil and plates it. The fried happy thigh is done. He pokes a piece of meat. Marin looks at the meat and praises himself. I can't believe it's my first time cooking and it turned out this delicious. Luckily, I cut the pieces big enough for a mouthful. He slowly takes off his mask and puts the meat in his mouth. Marin chews and savors it. The crispy crust combined with the tender, juicy happy thigh. Absolutely amazing. The sweet meat juices soak into the crispy crust. It's truly delicious. He savors it and thinks, the distinct sweetness of happy meat is just like rich fatty meat. Marin continues eating and says, The more I eat, the more I crave it. It's a good thing I made a lot. It's definitely going to be good. Meat this good, how could it be bad when fried? Dahlia's voice calls out from outside, Hey human, are you in there? Marin thinks to himself. That voice is Dahlia. Dahlia knocks on the door and calls, It's noon and you're still not up. Open the door. It's an emergency. Marin slowly opens the door and asks, "What's so urgent?" Dahlia replies, "Why are you wearing your helmet inside the house?" She holds out her hand and asks, "Never mind. I have something urgent to tell you. Are you free?" Maron replies, "I'm eating. What is it?" Dahlia says, "The thing is, Emoto seems to be in trouble." Maron thinks to himself, "Huh." Suddenly, "Continue talking and invite Dahlia inside." What happened? She replied that it was hard to talk about in public. Dahlia looked at the dish Maron had just cooked and asked, "Hey, is this food another monster again?" She thought to herself that Emoto's matter was more important. Dahlia continued, "Forget it, now's not the time to worry about that." As she held her hand, she thought, "First, the thing I'm about to tell you. Don't let Emoto know, okay? Can you lend me some money?" Marin stopped in surprise and thought, "You're making me so mad. If it's just this, get out." Dahlia reached out her hand and said, "Wait, hear me out first." Marin looked at Dahlia and said, "If your reason isn't convincing, I'm kicking you out right now." Dahlia replied, "Humans live such short lives. Why is your temper so short?" She continued, "To put it bluntly, it looks like Emoto has been scammed by that human master of hers." Marin asked back, "Scammed?" The two continued their conversation about how Emoto was collecting money to save her siblings during the party. "You heard about that, right?" "Yeah, I heard. We stopped taking missions today because Emoto went to visit them." Dahlia clenched her fists in anger and said, "But today that master..." She continued the story. "He broke the agreement. He's preparing to put them up for auction." Dahlia added, "That scumbag of a master tricked her from the start. He intentionally let Emoto go just to give her false hope." She continued, "When Emoto begged, he said, 'If you pay the full ransom before the auction date in 5 days, I'll stop.'" How much money was Emoto planning to collect over 3 years? 10 gold coins, each 20 gold coins in total. Marin thought to himself, 20 gold coins. Dahlia began calculating the currency value of this world. If we convert it, 1 copper coin is equivalent to 100 Vietnamese dong. 100 copper coins make 1 silver, 100 silver make 1 gold. 2 gold coins are enough for an adventurer to live comfortably for a whole month. 20 gold coins, that's 20 million Vietnamese dong to collect in 5 days, she continued. Even though she didn't want to show it, that prideful girl actually bowed her head begging to save her siblings. Marin interrupted, "So now you're going around borrowing money for her?" Dahlia replied, "Yes. Besides, I can't ignore the slavery issue. Ever since the treaty, all sub-races consider each other as kin." She gestured with her hand and said, "If you help me, I swear on my honor that I will pay you back." Marin retorted, "No. Even though we officially formed a party, we've only known each other for a few days." Maron crossed his arms and said, "What trust do I have to lend you such a large sum? Besides, I don't have any money." "Right, you really are just a human." Dahlia thought for a moment and said, "Oh, and I heard Emoto's siblings only just learned how to walk a few days ago." Maron stopped abruptly and said, "You damn elf, how dare you use my psychological weakness against me?" Dahlia smiled and replied, "Oh no, I was just mentioning it." Marin asked back, "If I lend you the money, what do I get out of it?" Dahlia replied, "The benefit, I'll pay double the interest." "How do I know you won't run away or intentionally delay it? Like you said, human lives are short, right?" Dahlia stammered. The two sat looking at each other. Dahlia raised her hand to calculate and thought, "What about this?" she said in a familiar, intimate tone. "Hey, human, let me tell you a secret." Maron turned to her and said, "Why so sudden?" Dahlia whispered in his ear, "Do you have the wind attribute in your elemental affinity?" Marin stammered, "No, I don't, but why the whispering?" Dahlia analyzed and said, "Elemental affinity in this world only requires high intelligence to use any type of magic, but one's personal elemental affinity is the most compatible element for that individual. Spells of the same attribute consume less mana, but are more powerful." She continued, "This attribute is usually present from birth. Most people only have one." Dahlia reminisced about the old days, saying, "It's rare for someone to be born with multiple attributes. Most legendary mages in history belong to this category." She stared him down and said, "If you help me this time," Dahlia continued, "I will grant you the wind attribute, a blessing from the gods." Maron stood there blankly. Dahlia raised her hand in frustration and asked, "Don't tell me that's still not enough." Maron replied, "It's not that. Granting an attribute isn't something just anyone can do, right?" Marin turned to ask, "Can you really do that?" Dahlia shouted, "I swear it in the name of the world tree. Are you happy now?" Marin put his hand on the table and said, "All right." You led Dahlia along as you walked and said, "So let's go." returning to the bustling scene with people walking about. Dahlia stepped up from behind and asked, "But how do you plan to make the money?" "It's true I asked for a favor, but 20 gold is not a small amount." Maron replied, That. Marin threatened, "The only way is to illegally hunt high-rank monsters and sell the loot on the black market." Dahlia panicked and replied, "Don't say such crazy things. Don't you know that entering dungeons above your rank is forbidden?" Marin turned back and said, "I know, but what other way is there to make a lot of money quickly?" Dahlia replied, "No matter what illegal activities are too dangerous." Dahlia thought to herself, "The quests issued by Gil are all ranked. Taking quests above your rank is strictly prohibited." She thought of being hunted down and said, "If you're caught secretly breaking the rules, not only will you be fined, but you'll also be banned from taking quests for a while." Maron thought to himself, "But legal or not, it takes way too much time." He mused, "High-rank dungeons are different from low-rank ones. Most are in remote, isolated places. Just the travel time alone takes 3 or 4 days. Maron suddenly turned back and asked, "Anyway, how do you plan to make money?" Dahlia was stunned and replied, Me. Dahlia said, "I already thought about asking my family back home for help. But I'm afraid it won't be in time for Emoto's 10-day deadline, so I plan to contribute the meager amount I earned from adventuring for her." She began asking further, "Marin, don't you have any savings?" Maron turned away coldly and replied, "Not at the moment." Dahlia walked along and said, "Right, of course. We both became adventurers on the same day, you know. So do you have anything valuable among your gear?" Marin turned to answer, "Among the gear I have, you mean?" I thought to himself about what was most valuable right now. Then Maron brought out a pile of items, picked one out, and said, "This is probably it. Let's just fend for ourselves for now and meet back up later, okay?" Dahlia replied, "Yeah, sure thing. I'll try to earn as much as I possibly can." The sunset sky fell over the area as Marin slowly walked into the ruins of an old castle. The merchant inside started asking, "What can I do for you today, honored guest? Around here we've got everything from monster essences to stolen goods." Marin slowly pulled out an earring. The merchant looked at it, thinking, "An earring. This should be taken to a jeweler, why bring it here?" The merchant looked closer and suddenly panicked. He shouted, "Wait a minute!" Staring at the earring, he stammered, "This earring! Could it be a shard of flies? Since the dungeon collapsed, it's disappeared and can't be found anymore. Where on earth did you find such a precious treasure?" Maron answered softly with a cold look. "A former comrade gave it to me a long time ago." In the blink of an eye, it was morning outside a high-class building. The old man's voice echoed from within. "Now you've finally learned to be calm, haven't you?" The old man sat comfortably in his chair, saying, "No matter how much you thrash about in a frenzy, it's useless. Now even that dense beast head of yours must understand that, right? That dense head of yours should get it by now." The old man looked at Hita and said, "Giving you 3 years was just me being generous. But thanks to that, you got to enjoy being out and about, didn't you?" Hita thought to herself. "I just want to kill him and be done with it. That smug face. I'll crush it first." From a distance, a voice called out, "Is Immortalico there?" Hita thought to herself. "This voice is—" Hita looked toward Maron and Dahlia, saying, "Den, is that you?" Hita turned and asked, "Why did you bring that weird-eating human along?" Dahlia replied, "Oh, I asked him to help me earn some money." She continued, What did you say?" Dahlia added, "We'll worry about the details later. Let's focus on the money first." Marin held out a bag of money and said, "We're Emoto's teammates, and we've prepared the full amount you demanded. Now let's make the trade and set Emoto's family free." I looked at Maron thinking, even if we agreed to let him in the group, having to rely on a human like this, is he going to use this weakness against me later to bully me? The old man held the bag of money, sneering, "C-rank adventurers actually earned this much. Do you think I can't tell the difference between real and fake money?" The old man opened the bag, looked inside, and thought, "Wait, this is real gold. They actually earned 20 gold coins in just 3 days." After I angrily shouted, "Just check if it's fake or not. Set my siblings free right now." The old man smirked and said, "True, you brought the money, but the contract states that Emoto has to earn the money herself. Getting money from others makes the contract void." Hita knelt below, furious. "What kind of twisted rule is that?" Dahlia raised her hand in anger and shouted, "Stop making things up according to current regulations. When a slave's family brings ransom money, it doesn't matter where it came from, you have to release them. You humans dare to cheat in front of an elf." The old man gritted his teeth and said, "Bring the paperwork and the belongings out here." I thought to myself, trying to play dirty, huh? Good thing Dan was here, otherwise I would have been tricked by this guy's word games. The man walked out and said, "Sorry to have kept you waiting." He brought out the fox boy and fox girl, saying, "Here are the slaves you asked for." The fox kids ran into Hita's arms crying, "Sister, sister!" Hita asked tenderly, "Are you two hurt anywhere?" The fox boy and fox girl cried in unison, "We were so scared." Hita gently hugged them both, saying, "It's all okay now. I'm sorry I was late." Maron looked at the fox boy and fox girl thinking, Dan is right. He even made kids into slaves. He clenched his fists in anger, thinking, the poor kids are just skin and bones. He dared to starve them. The old man held up a paper and said, "Here are their original slave documents." The old man tore up the contract paper while saying, "And now I'll destroy it right in front of you. Are you satisfied now?" Hita angrily raised her hand and magical flames burned the contract to ashes in front of the fox children. Satisfied with what? The old man sat back in his chair acting arrogant. "Ha, all right. From now on, your siblings are completely free, but you, Emoto, are still my slave." The old man continued, "As for you teammates, the money's all gone, so beat it. Or do you want to take the shackles as a souvenir? From now on, your little sister is completely free, but you, Emoto, are still my slave." He continued, "As for you guys, your money's gone, so get lost. Unless you want to keep those shackles as a souvenir." Turning to face Marin, I hold up my hand and say, "Hey, that won't be necessary." As Marin continues to hold out the bag of gold, I declare I'm going to buy Emoto along with you, Hita and Dahlia. I turn back to Hita and shout, "Hey, I don't need your help. Just save my little sibling. I can take care of the rest myself." Marin calls out from a distance, "Emoto for let's say 10 gold coins, how's that?" Hita angrily retorts, "Don't you dare ignore me." The old man slowly replies, ignoring Marin's confusion, "My apologies." He flashes a sinister smile and says, "But unfortunately, Emoto has already been listed for tonight's auction." He says this gently right in front of Marin, adding, "So that transaction is going to be difficult to pull off." He sits back in his chair and arrogantly raises his hand, saying, "Emoto is already on the list. It can't be cancelled. If you really want them, feel free to join the auction and buy them yourself." Dahlia looks stunned, asking, When did—" I scream in rage, "What the hell are you talking about? You never said I was going to be auctioned off." Dahlia also yells, "Shut your mouth, you human. Do you really think I'd believe that load of garbage?" The old man replies arrogantly, "Making it up, this is my legal right. A master can sell their slaves however they please. The treaty clearly states that slave trading is a legal right of the owner." Dahlia snaps, "You pathetic, despicable human." Marin seethes, inwardly thinking, a dirty trick but a clever one. He looks at the old man thinking, putting Emoto up for auction is just an excuse, but since they are his legal property, there's no way to stop him from selling them. Does he really have to torment Emoto to this extent? Maron makes up his mind and says, "Fine, I'll join the auction to buy them." I turn to Maron saying, "Hey, human." Maron stands tall, his voice cold. "Don't cause a scene. Just wait, Emoto. I already have a plan." I wonder to myself, why is he helping me this much? Marin starts to think. The old woman looks at the children playing and says, "Always remember this, Charlotte. Every child needs to be cared for, especially the little ones. They need a steady hand to guide them." She says this while gently stroking their heads. "And that goes for you too. Every child born deserves to be protected. Isn't that the very reason this place exists?" I recall the old woman's words, realizing that only I am the one who can protect those kids. The little fox sibling softly whispers, "Big sister." I think to myself, saving them isn't the end of it. Don't let them grow up alone. Stay by their side, nurture them, and lead them. Marin sighs to himself, "All right, let's see how this goes." I turn back to Maron and say, "If you're just bluffing and you fail, I won't forgive you." Dahlia looks at her and says, "I don't really like it, but if Marin has a plan, I'll follow. See you at the auction, Emoto." Just then, the old man and Hita both turn their eyes toward Maron. The old man smirks with contempt. "Some reliable teammates you've got there. Hey, Emoto, do you really think those cheap C-rank nobodies can set you free?" Hita holds onto the fox siblings, glaring at the old man with eyes like daggers. The old man reaches out, grabbing her face and forcing her to look up, saying, "You think I'm just going to let you be sold off at the auction so easily?" He looks at Hita with a triumphant grin. "Either way, you're never escaping my clutches." He continues, "You'll end up back with me soon enough." I kneel beside them and ask, "What are you talking about? What kind of game are you playing?" The old man waves his hand, ordering his man to contact the Merchants Guild and get everything prepared. The clerk begins to announce, moving on the next lot is a criminal slave caught for multiple counts of racial violence. Male human. Health condition good, no physical disabilities. The voice echoes as Marin and Dahlia look on anxiously. The bidding starts at 4 gold coins. Dahlia whispers to me, I just asked the clerk about the average price for beastkin slaves, and I heard that due to the plague it's hovering around 8 or 9 gold. Even if the price hits 10 gold, my savings should be enough. Maron replies, I wouldn't be so sure. The clerk's voice rings out, causing everyone to jump. Maron, next is a non-human. As they bring Hitta out, the clerk introduces her, a beastman of the wolf tribe from the frontier, a former gladiator holder of the Hero of the Colosseum title. Can also use healing skills of the priest class. Hitta angrily grips her shackles, thinking, the master definitely pulled some dirty strings. I have to let Dan know. The clerk continues, superior physical condition, human-like, youthful, and female. The old man looks down from above with a smug expression. Finally, it's our turn. He looks toward Maron and Dahlia, saying, those C-rank adventurers must have spent all their money by now. They've probably only got pocket change left. From above, the old man continues his sinister laugh. Buying Emoto with that, how arrogant. The old man sneers. Do you really think I'd let everything go the way you want? The clerk shouts loudly. The starting price for this item is 6 gold and 30 silver. Bidding begins. The clerk points to the old man and announces, very well, bidder number 57, please make your offer. Dahlia. Turning back with a serious look, they said the price had already been set. The old man, shocked by the 20 gold coins, blurted out what the clerk said, 20 gold right from the start. A massive price like that. I thought to myself, 20 gold coins. No way, that can't be right. The clerk's voice cut through, is there anyone offering more than 20 gold? Dahlia scratched her head, frustrated. This is absurd. I heard it was only around 8 or 9 gold. Now they want another 10 on top of that. That's a fortune. The clerk spoke up when they saw Marin raise his hand. Yes, welcome guest number 21. Maron asked, may I ask what the bidding limit is? The clerk replied, 30 gold for humans, 50 for demi-humans. Maron thought, is that so? Then he stood up and shouted, 50 gold. Dahlia looked at him stunned. 50 gold. Didn't you only have 10 gold? Marin retorted. I offered 10, I didn't say that was all I had. He continued, I never trusted that owner from the start. The clerk asked, are you sure you're bidding 50 gold the limit for demi-humans? Is that for real? Another customer looked down at Marin and sneered. He doesn't look rich. Is he one of those guys who bids and then pays in installments? The clerk held up a hand. I apologize, but our policy requires immediate payment. If you don't have the money on you, you cannot bid. Marin started walking away while speaking. Is that how it is? Dahlia asked. Hey Marin, what are you planning to do? The clerk panicked. Hey, you can't just come up here. Hitta called out weakly. Maron. She wondered, what is he calculating? Marin pulled gold from his bag and tossed it to the clerk, saying, is this enough now? The old man looked down from above, unable to believe his eyes. No way. How could a bunch of trashy C-rank adventurers actually have 50 gold? How is that even possible? I opened my eyes wide, saying, we won the bid. The scene shifted back to the quiet night. Both the older and younger fox cubs ran over, reaching out their arms. Big sister. Hitta hugged the 2 cubs and said, you're both safe, thank goodness, it's finally over. We're finally completely free. Dahlia crossed her arms, asking angrily, You had that much money. Why didn't you say so sooner? Marin replied indifferently. Nobody asked. Dahlia stood up, happy. Well, fine then. As long as it ends well, that's what matters. Hitta's voice came from behind Marin. Hey, she said shyly. Thank you, Marin. You saved not just my little sister, but me as well. I don't know how to repay you. Just then the fox cubs near Hitta sniffed something. They ran over to Maron, hugging him and saying, Meat. It smells like meat. It smells so good, Maron asked the 2. Are you hungry? Let's go eat. Hitta asked, Dahlia, what should we do now? I don't know how to repay Marin. Dahlia replied, don't overthink it. He probably helped us because he likes having us as teammates. We can just keep being good teammates. Hitta's eyes lit up with hope. I'll do my best, she asked. By the way, there's a rich, savory smell coming from Marin. What are you 2 eating? Dahlia turned around. Huh, eating, what do you mean? Suddenly she remembered and shouted, wait, don't tell me, no way. Dahlia ran from behind and screamed, stop right there, Marion Glass. Marin turned around. Huh, what's wrong? The fox cubs started eating. The older one cheered, this is amazing. The younger one followed suit. I've never eaten anything this good before, Dahlia roared. What the hell are you feeding the kids? Hida echoed, huh, what happened? Hida looked at the two foxes and said, oh, it's just fried food, that's fine, they've already grown all their teeth. Besides, beastkin have the best digestion of all races. She added, they're growing so they can chew and swallow anything except steel or monsters, of course. Wait, Hida called out from behind. Marin, what is this fried food made of? He coldly replied, happy meat. She looked at the fox cubs and said, you dared to give my beloved little ones something like that to eat. Hida walked over furious and snatched the food away. No, kids, don't eat this. This isn't right at all. The younger cub looked at her. Why, it's good. Oh, it's so tasty, I want more. Hida shook her head, no. The kids reached out. Give us more. Give it here. She noticed something and froze. Hida looked at a tray of food nearby and thought to herself, all right, if I eat this and collapse, the kids will be scared and won't ask for any more. Hida lifted it to her mouth, thinking, even if I die, I won't eat something disgusting like monster meat. But this is all for my precious little ones. She started to eat it, thinking that even if it were poisonous, she had to eat it and then fall to the ground. Hida suddenly discovered something. Dahlia shouted from behind, hey, Emoto, what's gotten into you all of a sudden? She asked with concern. Could it be food poisoning like Marin had before? Hida thought to herself. What? Why is she standing there like a statue? Then she thought, wait, why is this thing so delicious? Little Fox tugged on Hida's clothes and said, sis, it's not fair to eat it all by yourself, I want some too. Looking at the plate. Hida thought to herself, this is the first time I've ever tasted meat this soft, chewy, rich, and flavorful. Is this really made from happy meat? Marin asked coldly from behind. So how is it? Hida grabbed the little fox and ran off shouting, delicious my foot, I won't forget this humiliation, you'll pay for this. Dahlia turned to Marone and asked, oh, by the way, Dahlia, what is it now? Marone asked, turning toward her. From now on, until you've paid back the 70 gold, you have to hand over 90% of your quest rewards to me. What 90%? Dahlia shrieked in anger. You cold-blooded human. Are you trying to starve me to death? Marin replied. If you're going to die from that, then just go ahead and die. He added in a serious tone, and we're done here, so pay me my due. The two headed out toward the forest, and one of them asked, do we really have to go all the way out to the forest in the middle of the night? Dahlia walked ahead and said, it's too crowded and inconvenient in the village. The environment isn't suitable for nature spirits. Maron walked behind her and asked, but how are you able to grant elemental blessings like that? Dahlia turned back and said, I suppose you know it's not something just anyone can do, right? First take off those clunky gloves. For the blessing to sink in, you need to expose some skin. Maron took something out of his pocket. As he took it out, he said, elves born in the forest are blessed by nature spirits at birth. The element the spirit blesses them with becomes their natural talent. Marin continued, that spirit stays with them for life as a guardian, and they can also ask that spirit to bless others. He continued, but even if it's their own spirit, they can only do it once in their entire lifetime, so they usually save it to exchange with a life partner or bestow it upon their children or a benefactor. Marone looked up at the sky and said, I had no idea it was so precious. Are you sure it's okay to give it to me? Dahlia looked at him with an apologetic expression and said, Marin Glass, you are my benefactor. You've helped me fulfill my life's wish twice now, rescuing my kin from humans. She began gathering energy and whispered, respond to my summons, I beg of you. Marone was startled as he looked at the surrounding scenery. The wind suddenly began to blow fiercely. He reached out his hand, felt it, and said, I can't see it, but this is the power of the spirits. Dahlia, still gathering energy, recounted this past. Long ago humans kidnapped elves, and not just because of their beauty. They wanted to steal this blessing by promising to free them from their suffering. Most of my people stubbornly endured torture to keep their pride. But after the treaty, when the illegal slaves were freed, the suicide rate among elves skyrocketed, she continued. They all took their own lives. Marin sighed. Dahlia looked at her own arm and said, we elves have an agonizingly good memory. Those who returned home after the treaty eventually returned to the world tree because they couldn't bear those horrific memories. She reached out toward Marone and said, I despise humans, the masterminds who ignored our era of suffering. If I could, I would kill every last one of them. Suddenly, Dahlia looked up at the sky and sighed. She blew the energy she had gathered toward Marin. A system card appeared, witnessed by the spirit. SINF has achieved compatibility with the wind element. Current elemental talents, fire wind. Marin looked at his hand and thought, I really did get an extra elemental talent. Dahlia said coldly, Don't misunderstand. I still hate humans just as much as ever. Greedy, filthy creatures willing to do anything for personal gain. She looked at Maron and said, Granting you a blessing doesn't mean I've forgiven you, human. The next day at the guild, Dahlia crossed her arms and looked at Maron. Oh, you're here. Hida also happily waved her hand to greet Marin. Hey, Marin, over here. Dahlia continued speaking with a haughty attitude. Emoto just found a babysitter for the little ones. Maron replied, I had to find someone who was also a beastkin, so it took a while. But I couldn't just leave the kids in the hands of a human. Hida pumped her fist excitedly and replied, Today is my first day as a free citizen, so I'm definitely going to give it my all. She pulled out a quest sheet and said, And I found a pretty decent quest, too. A level 20 periodic extermination mission at the Crystal Cave. Dahlia smirked and replied, Mudos, we really have to go hunt those smelly mud piles. Still, it's safer than a C-rank quest, I suppose. Marin held the quest sheet and thought to himself, Mudos are like moving slime blobs, right? Well, whatever. If it's a monster, it's probably tasty. Dahlia glared at Marin and yelled, Are you seriously thinking about eating those mud blobs? Hida added smugly, The carriage is already waiting at the village gate. Let's go. Dahlia led the way, saying, Have you looked into the other monsters in the Crystal Cave? Hida replied, Of course I'll explain everything on the carriage. As the two were busy talking, a carriage approached. After this quest, I have to find a new place for the kids to stay. They can't stay at the inn forever. Dahlia looked at the carriage in front of them and asked, What's this? She turned to Hida and asked, Did you rent such a fancy carriage? Hida replied, It's not this one. I've only been a free citizen for 1 day. Where would I get the money to rent a fancy carriage like that? Hida stopped in her tracks and demanded to know who they were. That voice coming from the carriage. It's definitely him. Good thing I didn't arrive too late. Hida felt a sudden chill down her spine, whispering, Wait a minute. That annoying voice is... She glared at the man, and her former owner, Maron, stepped forward coldly, asking, The transaction is already over. Why are you still here? The old man raised his hands with an arrogant smirk. Well, after selling her, I found that I really missed her. People never know how to treasure something until it's gone. He spoke with a cryptic air. So I'd like to propose a new deal. He continued, leaving Maron stunned. Do you want to reslave her? Dahlia exploded in rage, screaming, A retrade that makes no sense. It's already over and you're being utterly disgusting. Kinta chimed in, Hey, you long-eared guy, you're an outsider here. Step aside. Emoto and I go way back. Don't look at me like that. Marin stepped forward slowly. Both of my bodyguards are over level 80. If they snap even, I might have a hard time holding them back. Kinta panicked, stammering, E80, are you serious? From a distance, the old man called out, Lord Maranglass. He held out his hand. I'll offer 100 gold coins. Please sell that slave back to me. Maron replied firmly. No. The old man froze, thinking to himself, Is that not enough? I don't think that slave is worth any more than that. Dahlia shouted furiously, Shut your filthy mouth, you trashy pig. The old man continued to negotiate. What about 150 gold coins? Marin replied coldly, Still no. The old man raised the price again. 160 gold coins. Marin shot back. Screw off! Hida screamed in anger. Even if you offered 100 million, Marin would never sell me. The old man gritted his teeth, hissing, A beastkin acting like this. 200 gold, and you still won't sell. At this moment, Marin thought to himself, That's actually kind of tempting. Dahlia looked at Maron and shrieked, What are you daydreaming about? Snap out of it! He laughed and replied, I'm just kidding. Maron continued, The papers were shredded that very day. I already agreed to set her free. She wasn't a slave from the very start. Standing before them, he declared coldly, So there is no deal to be made with you. If you Emoto keep causing trouble, I'll step in as her teammate. The old man roared with laughter. A bunch of beggars pretending to be a team. He smirked, thinking, I tried to settle this nicely with money. Fine then, he yelled. Do you think I'd miss out on the fun of toying with that beastkin? As he spoke, a burst of energy approached. If they're being difficult, I'll just have to kidnap her. Hida punched him so hard he flew into the air, yelling, I am so sick of hearing you. I am not your slave anymore, you little brat. Don't you dare act so cocky. As the soldier slowly drew his sword, a voice came from behind him. You dare draw your sword, Marin said from behind, you're going to die. The soldier thought to himself, What, not even a hint of magic, so how? Marin slammed the soldier's head into the ground. In pain, he lunged forward with his weapon, yelling, "You think you can just do that?" Marin pressed the soldier's head down while picking up a rock to throw at him. It knocked him back, and suddenly he spat out a mouthful of blood. The old man couldn't believe his eyes. "No, this is impossible. They're level 80. The soldier looked up at Marin and asked, What is your level?" He slowly replied, "I'd about 95. Hitta gasped, 95, is he really that strong?" Dahlia smirked and replied, "I knew he was strong, but not that strong." Hitta smiled wickedly and patted the old man's head. "By the way, we're not finished yet, are we?" The old man stammered in fear. "Wait, hold on!" His frantic cries echoed out. Dahlia glanced over gently, saying, "Emoto, we're going to miss the carriage. Let's end it here." Hitta laughed triumphantly, turning around to say, "Yeah, I've taken care of my business too." She skipped away happily, saying, "And I punctured his gut." "Don't you ever show your face again," Dahlia muttered from behind. "You filthy piece of trash." The old man thought to himself, "You bastards will regret ever laying a hand on an adventurer like me. Once I escape and report this to the guild." Marin stepped right in front of him and said, "Hey, I've killed a few people lately, so finding a new party is a pain in the neck." His tone made the old man's blood run cold. "Destroying a guild is easier than finding a new group, so it's really a bother. Don't ever annoy me again." Marin kicked the carriage hard, terrifying him even more, then walked away with a cold expression, adding, "Consider this a warning, watch your step." Returning to the cave. The group arrived at their destination. Dahlia panicked. "They're weak to fire. Get the torches out." Hitta and Marin stood back to back guarding the entrance. She thought she did the right thing and asked, "Wait, is that right?" Dahlia screamed, "Stop it!" The torch began to glow brightly. "Flame infernos!" Dahlia yelled furiously. "You idiot, did you not bother to upgrade your skills?" Kinta scratched his head, replying, "I was locked up forever, so I didn't have time to train." Marin slowly mixed the sauce in his hand. Kinta asked from a distance, "Marin, is that even edible? I haven't learned healing magic yet, so if you pass out, you're a goner." Dahlia looked over as well, commenting, "Things we've seen before at least looked like food, but this..." Marin slowly picked it up, sniffing it and thinking to himself, "I expected a smell, but..." He kept analyzing it, deciding it probably tasted like dirt, then slowly put it in his mouth to see. "Tastes like gum that's lost its flavor. I'm not even sure if monsters are supposed to taste good." Behind him, the two of them chimed in, "Just eat those leftover fried Happy Bites, Marin." I slowly walked over to thank him. "I was busy looking after my sister earlier and didn't get the chance, but seriously, thank you for saving my family. I'll work hard to pay off the debt." Marin replied coldly, "You have a sister to raise. You don't need to pay me back," he said. Hitta hesitated, then continued, "But it's such a huge amount." Dahlia turned to him and asked, "Hey, tell me, how did you make so much money? Don't tell me you're doing something dangerous like poaching." Hitta was stunned and asked, "Wait, really? You actually made money doing that?" Marin slowly bowed his head, replying, "No, it's not that. I sold some gear from my old teammates." Feeling a wave of sadness, he dropped his hands and added, "I held on to it for a long time for personal reasons. But I'm doing all right now, so I figured it was time to sell them." I clenched my fist, thinking, why would he sell something so precious? Even if I paid him back, he could never buy those back. Marin kept talking despite her visible sadness. "It's fine." He slowly lowered his hands and said, "You guys are my teammates now. If you want to repay me, just keep adventuring with me. That's enough." I sighed and replied, "Is that really all you want?" Marin continued, "Yeah. So from now on, I'm counting on you as our leader." She stood up, responding with sincere determination. "Yeah, I won't be mopey anymore. From today on, I'll be a proper leader." I turned to him and asked, "By the way, are you still blessing Marin? I heard you were just adventuring buddies, but have you known each other long?" Dahlia kept eating and said, "Not much longer than I've known you. More accurately, it was just fulfilling a contract." Hitta jumped up and shouted, "For someone you didn't even know. And hey, why does Marin always wear that hood?" Marin thought to himself, "I shouldn't." He hesitantly replied, "It's just a personal matter. Why do you ask?" Hitta slowly reached out and said, "What are you hiding under that hood? I bet it's some big trophy from a hunt." Marin stammered, "Hey, don't pry into a teammate's business, Emoto," I said cheerfully. "Trophies are like medals for adventurers, you know." "It's all right," Dahlia added, "but Marin, you really are too secretive. We're just curious because we want to be closer to you. Try opening up a little." Marin sighed. Suddenly he sensed something nearby. Hitta and Dahlia also began to feel a killing intent. Everyone saw a gecko and shouted, "That's!" A crystal gecko lunged at them. Hita jumped high and started fighting the creature. She looked back at the two of them asking, "Marin, are you okay?" Dahlia looked at him thinking, "Let me check." She looked up, then cursed. "Damn it," Marin thought angrily. "A crystal shard hit my eye." Moran held his hand out and said, "My vision is fine. It's just a light scratch. I wasn't stabbed deep." "Fine? What do you mean fine? You're bleeding so much, how can you say your eye isn't hurt?" I came from behind speaking gently. "Take off your helmet already. I don't care if you're scared, we need to check the wound and treat it right now." She looked into Moran's eye and said, "If your eye is damaged, we have to head back to the shrine immediately." Hasu coming from behind. Dahlia shouted, Monster!" Dahlia also yelled, "Please spare me, I don't want to die." Dahlia ran off while Hasu stood there angrily with his sword drawn. Run away." Marin sat down on the cliff edge and said, "Don't touch me." Hita's eyes widened. "Marin?" Dahlia reached out saying, "You hate showing your face that much." Marin put his hands over his head, pressed his face to the ground and said, "Yeah." He sounded like he was about to cry, adding, "No, don't look." Dahlia reached out gently toward him, trying to comfort him. "Hey, Marin, I understand you're shy, but a wound needs to be checked properly and treated the right way." Marin took his hands away and started to say, "I'm really okay. It's just a light scratch. My vision is still normal." Dahlia replied, But you know my level? The crystal gecko is only level 30. It's not strong enough to cause me any serious injury." Maron continued, "I'm really okay. Let's keep hunting." Dahlia and Hita stood there silent and sighing, looking at Maron. She continued, "Fine, I get it. Just don't push yourself too hard." She reached out again and said, "If you feel bad, you have to tell us right away." "Okay." The two of them said in unison, "Sorry for meddling in your business, Marin." He replied, "I'm sorry too. I'm sorry for being too—" From inside the castle, everyone's voices echoed out. "Yes, the mission to eliminate the Mudos is complete. You've all worked really hard." Maran stood up and asked if anything was wrong, but Hita replied with a worried look, "It's nothing," before suddenly asking, "Do you really not need to go back to the shrine?" Dahlia raised her hand and said, "Let's get some rest early tonight. Rest up so you can keep an eye on Marin's condition too." They were talking when she burst in from the palace door and shouted, "Fine then, let's head to the inn tonight. It's urgent." Urgent. He stood up and asked, "What happened?" As she panted for air, she replied, It's... She held up a piece of paper and said, "A new dungeon has appeared in the border forest between Adrama and the capital. The name of the dungeon is—" Marin thought to himself, "The Ryat Flower Garden," Dahlia asked back. A new dungeon suddenly appeared. Hita also asked curiously, "There are plenty of other groups, won't the guild handle it on their own?" "We have to go to the inn immediately," Marin asked in surprise. What? Hita also pressed him. "What is it? Do you really not need to get some rest?" Marin grabbed his mask and said, "Yeah, besides, I've already got an idea." In a forest under a clear blue sky. Hasu smiled at everyone and said, "The groups summoned by the guild have gathered here." As she began to explain the strategy to conquer the dungeon, everyone started discussing it excitedly. "Hey, did you hear? The person who first discovered the dungeon was defeated by the boss and is now hospitalized at the shrine. I heard there are 2 bosses. Well, that makes sense. 2 bosses in the Ryat forest," Marin thought. Ryat. They must be plant-type monsters, right? In that case, should I make a salad or something else? Hita grabbed Dahlia's shoulder from behind and said, "Hey, Dan, if Marin starts eating in the middle of a crowd like this, our group's reputation is going to be ruined." Dahlia sighed and replied, If that happens, let's just pretend we don't know him," Marin said from behind, clenching his fist. "Elves are vegetarians, so I haven't had a chance to cook for you yet. I'll make you a dish, Dan." Dahlia gritted her teeth and snapped, "I don't need that kind of concern." She continued, "As you already know, it's been confirmed there are 2 boss entities in this dungeon." He stood up and said, "So those rumors I heard behind my back were true, huh? If that's the case, our current numbers won't be enough to handle it." Hasu raised her hand and said to everyone, "But please don't worry." She placed her hand over her heart and declared, "The first hero, Alchemist Jerry Sarek, will be accompanying you all. This campaign will be safe." Marin thought, "A hero?" Dahlia asked with a mocking tone. "You don't know what a hero is? Living in the forest, do you know even less than me?" She explained, "Hero is the general title for those who carry the title of reserve hero. To show respect, people drop the reserve part and just call them heroes. But some are also afraid of their appearance." Dahlia continued, "The very existence of a hero is a prophecy of the Demon King's uprising. The Lord of all monsters," she continued. When that moment comes, the heroes who stand against the Demon King will be our saviors, so they always receive privileges from the state or the guild. Their reputation is also very high. The system screen appeared displaying information: Alchemist Jerry Sirix, level 75, race human, class warrior, attack 831, defense 700, strength 97, intelligence 15, agility 25, luck 104. Titles: intermediate, Night Star of the War, God Destroyer of Happy Nests, Reserve Hero 3-star Dungeon Conqueror, Invader of the Ancient Tomb, Conqueror of the Asura Dragon. Marin thought, so many dungeon conquest titles. As she thought that, she said, I remember seeing a hero before. What you know one, of course. Not just one person. Out of the 5 heroes discovered, the second one was murdered and the 4th was killed by a monster. Now only 3 remain. Suddenly, Maron thought to himself. Everyone saw bees flying toward them and screamed, They're swarming again! Stop them! Don't let them escape! Dahlia drew her bow and fired at the bees, while Hitta used her bare hands to punch the swarm. Marin also lunged forward with his sword to slash them. The young boy looked at everyone fighting the bees and said, Those guys are actually pretty good, huh? He replied, Yeah, I guess. Even though our group name is Chaos, it feels a bit unsettling. Hitta's ears caught everyone's praise, and she smiled smugly. Our group name is getting famous after all. Dahlia frowned and said, It's not fun at all, so focus on the fight. She continued. According to the plan, the hero and the B-rank group will take out the bosses one by one. Our mission is to handle the surrounding monsters. Understood. The information for the Devil Flower appeared. Riat level 58. Attack 388. Defense 332. Danny rubbed his arm and said, Damn it, the B-rank group's reputation is gone. We have to hold it off until the hero finishes the other one. Hasu stood with her sword blocking the Devil Flower. She lunged toward it at lightning speed, holding her flaming blade. Their eyes met, and Hasu said, Let's end this here. She flew past the Devil Flower with thousands of slashes and confidently declared victory. Danny smiled and said, Truly a hero. She clapped and applauded. Taking down a high-level boss all by yourself, that's incredible. Hasu smiled at the praise. She looked at the remaining Devil Flower and said, Only one left. She spoke through the radio. Why is it so noisy? Do these monsters have a hive mind? Danny replied, Who knows? Once the hero gets here, it'll be over quickly. Another demon flower started launching attacks at the trio. Danny panicked. What the hell is all this? She ran while screaming for help. Maron thought to himself, Damn it, a multi-stage boss. And Daniel, he said aloud, you were thinking about the next monster while you were talking. We have to take down both bosses at the same time. Thoughts began to crystallize. They realized they had to defeat both Riat at the same exact moment. The mistress of the flower garden had gone mad. She abandoned her remaining life force in the agony of losing her mate as flowers sprouted forth in pure despair. The stench of blood filled the air. Level 70 attack 444 defense 444. Dahlia spoke up. Marin, what the hell is this nightmare? Marin warned, Don't touch the boss, it's gone completely berserk. Everyone pull back now. Hasu screamed at the top of his lungs. Its level has climbed to 70. Given our average levels, we can't stand a chance against that. I'll hold it off. Everyone retreat now. The vines are still spreading. Someone chop them off. Desperate screams echoed. It's critical over here too. Someone come help. She thought to herself. True to form, those mediocre losers got themselves into this mess. Before Gil gave the order to regroup, Hasu bragged. A smart guy like me already gathered enough info on the boss from that bandit gang, the location, the number, and even the method to kill both at once. I only gave you guys part of the info. It's not like I lied. If you blindly charged in just because you trusted me, that's on you for being stupid. Hasu walked slowly toward it, muttering, Now a hero like me will put an end to this, huh? You bastard. A notification popped up. Cursed by greater rank. 10 minutes cannot use skills or weapons. What is this, a curse skill? A thick root wrapped around Hasu's leg. He panicked, thinking, How did I not hear that this boss had a curse skill? Suddenly, the demon flower used its vines to fling her body into the air and drag it across the dry, withered ground. Hasu tried to find a way to escape, thinking, Stupid vines, just cut 'em and done. The demon flower kept dragging and attacking her like a maniac, leaving Hasu unable to counterattack, absolutely terrified as everyone else scrambled away screaming. Hey, the hero got taken down. Retreat immediately. The mission is a failure. Maron watched, thinking, If we leave it like this, the casualties will be massive. The demon flower kept attacking wildly. Maron stood in deep thought. I wonder how much force I actually need to suppress this. He drew his sword muscle axe thinking, just keep it moderate, I guess. The demon flower face, twisted in rage, lunged forward with a roar, baring its razor-sharp teeth at Marin. He swung his sword, unleashing a barrage of attacks. The petals on the demon flower slowly fell away as his sharp blade sliced its body in two. Danny watched in shock. No way one hit to take down a level 70 boss. Marin stood there blank-faced, pondering, oops, I didn't mean to go that far, but how? A system message appeared. Title acquired Garden Breaker. Thoughts swirled in his head. This is just like those first Conqueror titles that hero guy had. Along came the others. Emoto was overjoyed. All my injuries, I'm human after all, I've left all that behind. But Marone, you are amazing. You cleared out the whole area. Dahlia sounded sarcastic. Trying to show off your level, are you? Making such a ruckus. Marin replied calmly. No, I didn't intend for that to happen. From behind a voice spoke up. Hey. A stranger walked over. During that chaotic fight, I almost died. Thanks to you, I survived. I never thought a C-rank group would have someone this strong, he stammered, looking embarrassed. Yeah. Everyone chattered loudly. So your group was the one that wiped out those monster wasps too. Thank you so much. Just one hit to take down an enhanced boss. Even the hero got defeated too. That is truly terrifying. Marone just listened, waving his hands to dismiss it. No, it was nothing. The whispers kept circulating. Is that the guy? The monster eater. Haha, that cannibal title. Is he okay? Is he dangerous? Emoto and Dahlia's eyes suddenly flashed with rage. Dahlia yelled, You pathetic humans! Is it your custom to repay someone by mocking them? Emoto also growled, Look at these cowards running away. Their legs work fine, but their mouths need a good thrashing, don't you think? Before I tear those drooping ears off, get out of my sight. Emoto grabbed some salt. What bad luck. Everyone rushed over to Hasu, fussing over him. Hey, hero, are you all right? Take my hand. Can you stand? Let me help you up. Hasu was filled with rage, thinking, one-hit kill on the boss. How in the hell did he manage to pull that off? I can't even pick up a trace of your level. What kind of trick are you pulling? Don't you forget today, you bottom-tier rank C trash Marin Glass. You actually stole the title of first to conquer the dungeon from me. A new day begins on the small street. A shell has just been cracked so smooth and clean. Marin has put in a lot of effort to peel it, and he lets out a long sigh as he speaks. Finally, the inside is out. It's smooth and glossy, still completely intact. Plus, the nut is the size of a fist. It really is a rare breed. What a stroke of luck to run into End on the way back. I wonder how delicious the nut monster from End really is. Marin describes the process step by step. First, remove the hard outer shell, then use your hands to peel away each thin inner layer. After finishing the steps skillfully, he puts the peeled nuts into boiling water for a quick blanch. Marone continues, don't let them overcook, just take them out halfway through. While the nuts are boiling, prepare another pot. Pour in water and sugar, turn up the heat to make sugar syrup. This should be just right. He takes his time with each step. Once the nuts are cooked, he removes them and puts them into the syrup, stirring well so the syrup coats every single one. Marin is cautious with every move, and once it's absorbed, he covers the pot. The flavor soaks in as it cools, so it has to get completely cold. He lets the nuts cool slowly in the pot. After repeating this process 3 times, Marin exclaims excitedly, Marin Glass candied chestnuts finished. Look at this glossy sugar coating. Making it myself feels so satisfying. Plus, every piece is the perfect bite-sized chunk. This is peak performance. Now I wonder how this monster fruit actually tastes. He slowly puts a small piece into his mouth. Instantly, Marone falls into an indescribable state. Marin's mind is completely overtaken by that explosion of flavor. The multi-layered sugar syrup perfectly locks in the rich, deep sweetness of the chestnut. The nut is infused with syrup, chewy and tender. It's so delicious, I have to say it out loud. It's like premium chocolate. I can't keep this delicious treat all to myself. Dahlia is startled, saying, You're showing up at my place in the middle of the night. Is this that monster cooking of yours again? Marin replies gently. It's fruit, so vegetarians can eat it too, she says helplessly. It's not about whether it's fruit or vegetarian. I've told you so many times. Oh, fine then. What about Emoto? Emoto frowns and refuses. Emoto doesn't like sweets. Besides, the kids are sleeping, so giving them sugar isn't convenient, Dahlia says with a forced expression. Marin then asks, Are you really not going to eat any? She sighs. Damn it, I'll eat it. What's the big deal anyway? I feel bad that you stayed up late to make this, so I'll just close my eyes and eat one piece. Dahlia tries hard, winces, and takes a bite. Suddenly, she freezes, her eyes widening. Dahlia thinks to herself, wait, is this really a monster fruit? How is it this sweet, fragrant, and soft? And what's more, the syrup is so aromatic and the rich flavor pairs perfectly with the chewiness. Maron sees her expression and asks, hey, is it good? Dahlia is stunned and says, I'm just not used to sweets. You human! She starts praising it. It really is the pure flavor of autumn. What's the name of this dish? He replies calmly, Marin Glass. Dahlia doesn't forget to question him, who names a dessert after themselves. Maron explains immediately. Actually, it's more like the other way around. But Dahlia, you really like sweets, don't you? She enjoys it and says, is there a problem with that? My master taught me to restrain my desires. Back home, I rarely even got to eat sweet raspberries. He asks after her master. Your master must be very strict, huh? Dahlia expresses. Yeah, because my master is very serious. Even now, he is at the number 5 zone serving as the forest patrol captain in my hometown. Master Rose. Suddenly, Marin grabs her hand, cutting her off, which makes Dahlia look at him with confusion. Marin continues, pink hair right. Uses a spear as a weapon water attribute. Dahlia is surprised. Huh? What? How do you know? Marin immediately makes a request. Can you take me to your hometown forest tomorrow? A tense atmosphere. In the central region of the continent, slow footsteps echo through the forest. Marin suddenly stops under a giant canopy. Isra, I once went on a mission with a close friend. A mage among my old comrades. She was an elf, but different from her kind. She used a spear, a detail I'll never forget. Who would have thought that would actually be Dahlia's master? He walks while deep in thought, even though he had asked Dahlia many times to confirm if it was the same person. But what if she doesn't remember me? Suddenly, Maron freezes when he sees a figure from behind. Rose turns around with a stern face. She speaks, a human wearing armor. Tall like my own kind, but with a slender build. I heard you really wanted to see me, is that right? State your name. Human. Marin hesitates, stammering and gulping. Marin. No, it's me, Scarlet. It's been a long time, Rose. Upon hearing that answer, Rose smirks with contempt. She laughs out loud. Scarlet, that's a name I haven't heard in a very long time. Have you been living well lately? I don't know how long it has been. Marin thinks to himself. Thank goodness she still remembers me. He slowly walks closer to her and speaks, it's good to see you're still doing well. Suddenly a blade is swung out powerfully. Rose barks sternly, then answer me this now. What kind of person are you daring to impersonate someone from my past just to swindle me? Carlos, huh? Yeah, I did have a friend by that name, but that was over 100 years ago. How could a human possibly live that long? If you really are, Charlotte, tell me, what did I used to call him? Marin just stood there in silence for a long moment, then Rose spoke up. Are you really not going to consider our offer, Charlotte? The images from before, along with that gentle voice, flooded his mind. Won't you join our party? It's rare to meet a shield knight as strong as you. Maron hurriedly refused. No, thanks. But they kept begging, don't say no so quickly, just come with us for 1 month and see. Karis kept trying to persuade him. Wait a second, if you agree to join us now, you'll have the chance to meet many other races you know. Still not interested, Rose. Are you getting agitated? What are you trying to sell me out now? Maron asked if the group had an elf. She gave a wry smile. Not in our group, but she's a close friend of mine. Charlotte, you once said you wanted to meet other races, remember? The brazen mage Karis introduced them. Rose, this is the shield knight Charlotte. Rose looked skeptical, thinking, do people outside the forest really go crazy the moment they see an elf? Seems like this guy isn't very trustworthy. But Marin still shook her hand, his voice affectionate. Rose, it's me, Charlotte. Rose grumbled. Charlotte sounds way too flowery and long. It's a pain to say. From now on, I'll call you this instead. Marin's voice broke through, bringing everything back to the present. Lotte. If the name is too long, just call me Lotte for short. Rose pondered for a long time. Is this guy really Char? Lot. It's true his voice and build are very similar, but he doesn't look like an old man at all. Maron also said, when I first met you, I was about 15. Your mage friend, who was the youngest member of the magic tower at the time, Madeline. She liked everything except for the food I cooked. It was the only thing that terrified people. And those fan letters you got from mercenaries were piled up like mountains. Rose lowered her blade and sighed. Okay, that's enough. But her eyes were still fixed on him. Rose reflected. The atmosphere is quiet. The tone is soft, but the way he talks is still the same old way. It really is the Charlotte I remember. But how is that possible? she gently announced, "I believe you are Charlotte." Rose glanced at him, her tone serious. "Follow me. There's something that needs verifying." A while later, they both entered a small house. Rose expressed sincerely, "I'm sorry I don't have anything to offer you. This place is just for sleeping." Marin politely replied, "It's fine." "Do you live all alone in a place like this?" she replied. "Yeah, it's more convenient to guard the area near the edge of the forest." I thought to himself, it's been 100 years and she barely looks like she's aged, so it really is an elf. Rose saw him looking at her curious. "Why don't you take off your helmet?" Marin lowered his head slightly and explained, "There's a bit of a special situation." Rose grabbed his hand and asked, "Then let me see your hand, okay? That's strange, you haven't aged at all. While I, an elf, drift along the flow of time, you, a human, have managed to stop it. Who knows, maybe my best friend Karis is also still alive and hasn't aged like you." Marin said, his voice choked with emotion. "No, he died. I am the only one left from the group." Rose continued, "Yeah, it's been 100 years. How could those humans still be alive? Honestly, I always thought all of you were dead. I ended my short adventure and returned to the forest to put down roots. The only source of news was the letters I exchanged with Karis, but from one day on, he stopped replying. I thought he was just busy, so I waited, but it took 25 years to find out the news. Your party, the Romantia team, vanished as if they had evaporated. Back then, it wasn't rare for mercenary teams to go missing. But a group with your level of skill suddenly disappearing caused quite a stir. At first, I didn't believe it and waited for news, but too much time passed to keep hoping. So now, honestly speaking, I'm more surprised than happy. Charlotte, how could you live for 100 years without aging?" Marin softly called out, "Rosa, do you remember the rare item I received the first and last time we were in the platoon together? The one I got after defeating the Spider Queen Regina Aranea. The skill book Arachnophobia." She frowned and said, "Yeah, I remember it clearly because I was the only one in the group with the appraisal skill." Marin clenched his fist, grinding his teeth. "It's all because of that. The reason I'm still alive today is the same thing that killed my comrades." On a fading afternoon in a small forest, a swarm of monsters emerged fiercely from the depths of the woods. Only a few arrows were fired, and the monsters were already wounded. Karis was confused. "Damn it, I came here to hunt goblins, but what the hell is that mob of monsters?" May was also shocked. "How the hell would I know? Get the magic ready quickly." Charlotte stood there calmly speaking in a steady voice. "Stay calm. They aren't strong enough to threaten us. Charlotte, keep them busy for a while for me." The monsters rushed to attack Maron as if they wanted to devour him alive. May raised her bow, saying, "All right, just hold the line." A beam of light from high above shone straight down. Glorin glanced over and called out to Karis, who stared back, signaling that he was ready too. A massive fireball erupted from the opposite side as the chant, "Mores Ignita," echoed. Kez observed every detail and asked, "Scarlet, have you ever seen a goblin like this before?" Maron gently replied, "Not yet." May was fuming, her head practically on fire. The client had said these were just regular goblins, yet here they were facing grotesque crawling monsters. Then a deep, warm voice echoed, "I'll definitely need to charge a hazard fee for this. Well, let's just call it bad luck." He turned serious, his voice dropping. "The situation isn't that simple. These goblins are nothing like the intel we were given. Don't push any deeper. Let's get the samples and pull back." Suddenly, a hauntingly enchanting voice rang out from behind. You lot are being a bit excessive, aren't you? I put so much effort into creating them, and you're just destroying them without a shred of mercy." May looked around, dazed. "Hey, who are you? This area is restricted for our mission." As that voice spoke, Charlotte and the others immediately shifted into combat stances. Ket warned them sharply, "Something's not right. Brace for the worst. We are an officially commissioned expedition team, and this forest is currently under quarantine. Please identify yourself." Long demanded, then muttered, "Has the time come for humanity to show its face again? I forgot your perception of time is vastly different from mine, but did you really think you could just destroy the creations I worked so hard on while I was away?" May frowned and said, "Creations? You mean those deformed goblins that have been showing up lately?" Damien was also rattled. "Damn it, this is way above our pay grade." She clenched her cloak and hissed, "I am in the middle of a sacred ritual. You humans dare to disturb my ceremony." Everyone gasped. "What on earth is that? Is that hair? Is there even a race that looks like that?" Marin thought to himself that something was terribly wrong. His status window popped up. Analysis unknown, dragon attack. Unknown defense unknown, leaving him stunned. What a dragon? Suddenly, an attack sent dirt flying everywhere as the ground shattered into pieces, and he plummeted deep into the earth as frantic shouts of "Charlotte, Charlotte" echoed out. Long threatened, "You daring humans, you dare to spy on me, perfect. I shall use you as sacrifices for my noble ceremony." Ket coordinated everything. "Everyone fight Damien, protect Charlotte." She pretended to cover her face in mock apology. "My apologies, I was a bit too hasty. Even lowly creatures like you deserve to know who you're dying for. I go by the title of the Golden Dragon, one of the wisest of my kind, the pinnacle of intellect." Karis scoffed in a panic. "A dragon." May warned them, "Focus, don't take your eyes off her. Who knows what she'll do." He thought even Charlotte was taken down in one hit. She really is a dragon. "We have to run. We need to use magic to blind her." But Long noticed the plan and acted immediately. "So you're the human mage, I presume. How arrogant," as Karis called out. May angrily raised her bow and cursed, "You monster!" But Long just flicked a finger and she took her down. Ket watched in anxiety, her mind racing. "I can't see anything. I can't hear anything. Is this the true power of a dragon?" Ket's eyes widened in deep thought. "At this rate, the whole team is going to be wiped out. What do I do?" She thought quickly. "Both of them are still breathing. If Damien can pull off a mass recovery spell, we might survive, but I need to buy time. I have to keep her focused on me." Ket shouted, "What is the dragon doing in a forest like this anyway? What do you want?" Long curled her lips into a smile. "What do I want? Only one thing. The resurrection of the Demon King. As one who understands all things, I, the wise golden dragon, have discovered a truth. To purify this world, humanity must be completely eradicated. But someone with the same goal has already paved the way. The one who sacrificed himself to stand against humanity, the Demon King. I am preparing a sacred ritual to resurrect him, and in the process my heart has become completely his. When he returns, I will become his mate, and he will belong to me. That's right, I am a dragon in love. Now I am Salvatore, a dragon driven mad by love." Damien cursed under his breath. "Damn it, she's completely lost her mind. But thanks to that long-winded monologue, I've got more time. The mass recovery spell is almost finished. I'll activate the magic and get everyone out of here." She stepped forward and said, "I'm busy preparing for that glorious day. I don't have time to play with the likes of you." Damien was instantly taken down amidst frantic screams of "Damien." She continued, "Did you think I wouldn't see through such a pathetic little trick?" Ket seized the chance to attack from behind, but Long pointed a sharp finger downward, and instantly Ket plummeted into the abyss. Long laughed triumphantly, "You die like pests. I'll tear you limb from limb to create new creatures." Maron was injured but still worried for the others. Facing her head-on is suicide. At this rate, the whole team will be annihilated, but if I use that skill, I might be able to buy enough time to escape. He gripped the grass around him tightly. Maron kept whispering to himself, "Arachnophobia." The system window appeared. Assimilation effect activated. Assimilation effect disabled. In the midst of the chaos. A blood-soaked arm fell to the ground, accompanied by the thought, "What is this? What just happened? Why is everyone—" Only skulls remained on the ground. Maron stood frozen in a bizarre form, a terrifying spider-like creature with long, horrific legs. A blood-soaked arm fell to the ground, triggering a flood of thoughts. What is this? What just happened? Why is everyone? On the ground, only skulls remained. Maron stood frozen in a bizarre form, his body twisted into a grotesque spider with terrifyingly long legs. A sense of confusion hangs heavy in the air here. What in the world is going on? Maron stares at a notification window that just appeared. You have obtained the title Kinslayer. He thinks to himself, wait, what? Maron stands in stunned silence. Did I kill all these people? He looks at his blood-stained arms, then at the lifeless bodies scattered around him. A new notification pops up, Holy Saint's Earring, rare, strength +12, golden jewelry blessed by the High Priest, cleansing stone of the 6 treasures. San remove 1 abnormal status effect for the wearer once per hour. He thinks stunned, a piece of jewelry that clears status effects. He realizes something in his heart. Wait a minute. Does this mean? Another notification appears. Arachnophobia, master shapeshifting, an active secret art allowing you to harness the power of Arach, the ancient spider monster. Discard your weak original skin. Don the shell of the Spider Queen. Effect all stats explode. You can use special skills, but your consciousness will be assimilated by the monster's instincts while transformed. Marin thinks to himself, assimilation. That's it. That notification popped up earlier. Was it the reason I lost my mind? Thank goodness this bracelet cleared the assimilation, or I wouldn't have snapped out of it. I'm so lucky I realized in time. The info window appears again. Corpse of the Swordsman. Race human. Class Holy Knight. Level 88. Defense 780. Titles High Knight Conqueror of the Golden Mountains Guardian Master Hero Candidate. Marin stands there lost in thought. A hero? What does this title even mean? Have I really killed the hope of humanity? He turns around looking for them. Where is my squad? We were fighting the dragon, I'm sure of it. His eyes widen as he sees something. Their bodies and weapons still lie on the ground. Marin observes them from above, one by one. He recalls everything, yet the terrible emotions linger. When I finally woke up, 100 years had already passed. Friends like Carlos, my other teammates. I don't even know how many people I've killed. Even now I can't tell a soul about the crimes I committed over these past 100 years. Rose senses his pain and asks gently, "It must have been so hard for you to get through all that, right? You risked your life using all those secret skills just to protect your comrades from the dragon. It was just an accident, everything got out of control. Nobody has the right to blame someone who gave everything to protect others like you did," she says. Marone replies sadly, "I'm sorry. It's been so long since we met, and here I am talking about such heavy things." Rose responds, "It's okay. At least I understand why you're still alive." Marone repeats her earlier question. "You asked why I don't take off my helmet, didn't you?" He summons all his courage to share the truth. "During those 100 dark years, everyone who saw my face called me a monster. Eventually, I started to believe it too, that my face was distorted. It's been so long I don't even dare look in a mirror anymore. After I came to my senses, I deactivated the skill. I even thought about going to the Holy Temple to be purified, but I didn't dare check myself because I was terrified of revealing my face." Rose asks curiously, "Have you told Dan, your disciple, about this?" He replies immediately, "No. If he saw this hideous face, I'm afraid every relationship I have would fall apart." She advises him, "I think you should show your face to your teammates first instead of tormenting yourself like this." I is surprised. "Huh." Rose continues to encourage him. "What you're afraid of isn't your face. It's the reaction of others. If you are accepted by your comrades, you will naturally be able to face yourself." Maron was still feeling anxious, but I hadn't truly learned to trust them yet. Rose placed a hand on my shoulder, gently encouraging me, "They're your comrades after all. In time, you'll learn to trust them just like we did." Maron looked up slightly and promised, "I'll try." Rose let out a relieved sigh, thinking, "That's good enough." "By the way, what's this name Marin that Dan mentioned?" Maron replied, "Oh, it's just the name of a snack." Rose was surprised. "Wait, what?" Images from the past flashed through her mind. "Hey, adventurer, what's your real name?" Marin had answered back then, "Marin Glass. I changed it because I was afraid of being hunted." Rose brushed it off. "You were way too worried back then. How have you been living since you woke up?" I immediately told her, "After our mercenary group disbanded, I became a hunter. Then I met Dan and Emoto the Beastkin, and we became a team." Rose asked, "Is Dan good at archery now?" "When he was little, he was so stubborn. Every time I taught him a stance, he'd insist it was his master's style and wouldn't listen." 100 years had passed, which made her smile more. She used to be so cold and irritable. She looked away, saying, "Everyone changes over the years, even us elves." A moment later, she said her goodbyes. "Thanks for spending the time to talk with me. I'll drop by again sometime." "Yeah," Marin replied politely. "Just don't wait another 25 years to come back." Rose waved. "Take care and stay safe, Charlotte. I mean Maron," she mused to herself. "Charlotte, huh? You say you don't trust your teammates, but they might just be the ones who trust you more than anyone else in this world. Now it all depends on your heart." I thought for a moment, wondering if one day, could I ever let Dan and Emoto see this face of mine? Do the years really polish a person? Could I actually change? The sun had set and a small light flickered on inside the house. Emoto was fuming, shouting, "That damn hero, he's just the worst." Marin walked in. "I'm just back. What's all this about?" She seemed annoyed. "Oh, Marin, you're back," I announced. I roasted some chestnuts, brought them back for everyone. Dahlia panicked. "Not those chestnuts from before again, right?" Maron asked curiously. "Wait, what happened?" Emoto jumped to her feet. "Maron, you listen to this. This morning when I went to turn in a request for Gilbert, that damn hero, he stole the exact quest I was about to take. Not only that, he slandered me saying I violated the rules. When I pulled out the evidence, he just said... The image and voice of Hasu kept echoing in Hita's mind. Oh, I'm so sorry, I must have made a mistake. I am the hero after all. How could I possibly have done that on purpose? It drove her absolutely mad. Just being human makes me hate him. Now he's being this petty and pathetic too. It's just infuriating. He doesn't even head back to the capital. He just follows us around to stir up trouble. Dahlia let out a long sigh. He's just using childish tricks, Marin. Oh, I think he's also spreading rumors that you don't have a nose. Emoto kept yelling, such a childish game. How can he even call himself a hero? I've heard quite a few people have been pranked by him like this already. Maron pondered. It seems we've caught the attention of that twisted guy. She suggested a hero going around picking on other people like that. Maron, should we just catch him? Marin glanced over and suddenly saw that kid running off with the chestnuts in that direction. He saw two figures stealing the chestnuts along with Hita's panicked voice. No kids run, quick, run away. But those two were still enjoying them. So sweet. This is delicious, sweeter than corn. Emoto shoved them out. Don't eat that seriously. Spit it out. But they were stubborn. No, it's good. Dahlia closed her eyes in frustration. Just let it go. He won't stay here forever. Be patient and wait. If all heroes are this persistent, then... Maron spoke up. Hey, Dan, tell me about the heroes who have passed away. She looked confused. You mean the fourth hero who was killed by a monster? I replied. No, the second hero who was assassinated. Could it have been done by the first hero? Someone that narrow-minded would be capable of anything. Dahlia shook her head repeatedly. No, he's petty, but he's not big enough to pull something like that off. You can tell just by his childish revenge tactics. I was incredibly curious. Then who killed the first hero? He died due to a mistake in a dungeon. But he looked so strong everywhere you looked. Dahlia continued, well, it's not official information, but there is this rumor. Marin was even more intrigued. What rumor? Dahlia stammered. The one who killed the second hero was... An image filled with sorrow in that room. She bravely spoke up. The third hero. Dahlia confirmed. The person suspected of being the culprit who killed the second hero is none other than the third hero. Marin was shocked. A hero killing their own kind. She continued to explain the details. Everyone thought it was absurd, so it just remained a rumor, but people's suspicions weren't groundless. The day the second hero died, a giant bolt of lightning struck the capital. But strangely, it was a clear, sunny day without a single cloud. That could only mean it was artificial lightning. At the same time, the third hero was known as a master of lightning. But his personality was the complete opposite of his power. He was a madman. If anything didn't go his way, he'd burn people alive with lightning. Even though he was a hero, everyone stayed far away from him. Hai is perhaps the only hero feared by the world. The royal court announced the second hero died fighting assassins, targeting the nobility. But the public believes the third hero did it. Rumor has it that anyone who dares to accuse him is met with his ruthless revenge. Emoto suddenly shouts way too loud. I've never seen a decent hero. We run into the first hero again. I'm going to pull out every hair on his head. Dahlia speaks up to stop her. Cut it out. He's a hero regardless. If we start a fight, we'll face punishment at a national level. Marin remains lost in thought. Yeah. He speaks up asking, that hero has many titles including First Dungeon Conqueror, right? The info shows up clearly. Anchorman Jelly Series Level 75 Human Race Warrior Class. Attack 831, Defense 700, Strength 97, Intelligence 15, Agility 25, Luck 104. Titles Intermediate Night Star of the War God. Invader of the Happy Organization Reserve Hero Conqueror of the Labyrinth. ZAT Invader of the Deserted Tomb. Conqueror of Isola. You seem puzzled. He thinks I stole his titles Emoto. I'm also surprised. The First Dungeon Conqueror title. Dahlia continues. There's a rumor that the requirement to become a hero is possessing the First Dungeon Conqueror title. All previous heroes have had this title. Is she still not over her anger? Is it because he hates new hero candidates and wants to hoard all the First Dungeon Conqueror titles? Dahlia agrees. That makes sense. Marin, he thinks you stole the Riat Garden title, so he's picking a fight. He's targeting our whole group because you're his teammate, right? Marin suddenly thinks, what if the number of hero candidates increases? Wouldn't that be a good thing? He asks aloud, is he really that proud of being a hero? A helpless voice replies, how would I know? Emoto turns and scolds, I already told you to stop. Marin remains in a quiet trance, recalling Rose's words. There will come a day when you trust them just like we do now. Naturally, no secret lasts forever. The truth will eventually come to light. But even if this sleepy face of mine is a monster, would they still treat me the way they do now? This question is too hard to answer. I don't know, Rosa. In a desolate place left only with an eerie green light, Emoto is stunned. Information pops up. Mutant slime level 39 monster. Can transform parts of its body into sharp spikes and has incredible elasticity to hunt prey. Dahlia immediately draws her bow. Thought slimes were just soft mush. Who knew it was a mutant? Emoto, don't block my view. It's hard to aim. Marin lunges forward, mentally using the flame enchantment skill. Sparks surround him. Marin thinks briefly, completely different from the slimes we used to know. Could this be a sign of the Demon King's resurrection? If so, we might face that evil dragon again sooner or later. What if we get backed into a corner like last time? Emoto and Dan are weaker than our old teammates in Romantia. Yeah, if that happens again, I will. But it seems he thought wrong. Sharp screams ring out. Get out of the way, you idiot! Dahlia glances and signals Emoto. Now is the time. Emoto, with a determined gaze, shouts, if you don't want to get burned, move yourself. The flames erupt fiercely with the sound of Flamma Inferos. Emoto asks with a weird look, is everyone hurt? Dahlia is frantic with worry. In a dungeon, where is your head at? Were you planning on eating the slime again? Maron calmly replies, no, it's not that. He suddenly pauses, noticing something. Marin speaks up, Dan, your hand, she says nonchalantly. It's nothing, probably just a scratch from earlier. Marin falls into deep thought because of himself. He mutters, why did you do that? Dahlia is bewildered. Do what? What are you suddenly talking about? Marin stands there, his voice serious. You couldn't possibly get hurt in a dungeon like this. Besides, I'm supposed to be the shield leading the group. So why did you and Archer take the hit? Dahlia asks bluntly. You're not so stupid that you don't understand that, are you? Marin looks away, so why it's just... She sighs and says, I just acted on instinct. Even if you are a human first and foremost, you are still my teammate. Emoto teases, Dan isn't being honest at all. Dahlia yells, Noisy, shut up. Let's clear the area. The footsteps move away quickly. Emoto wonders, Marin, ever since you met your master, you've been acting kind of weird. Dahlia has also noticed that something is off. Back in the dungeon, you even apologized without arguing back a single word. Marin suddenly speaks up. Sorry for letting you get hurt. Now let's focus. Emoto hasn't stopped digging. What on earth did he talk about with your master to make you like this? I don't know, Dahlia says irritably. How can I just pry into personal business? Emoto recklessly calls out, Hey Marin, what's going on? Dahlia interrupts. Wait, that sound. There's a monster nearby. Marin quickly draws his sword. A chaotic battle is taking place nearby. Get the injured back. The rest of you hold the line. Damn it! How is there such a powerful monster here? Hyun was panting heavily. Reinforcements still hadn't arrived, and at this rate the carriage would be. The dark demon in its horrific form loomed over everyone, threatening them. A wounded soldier lay on the ground begging for help. Help someone, help me! But the monster pushed its hideous face closer, its sharp dark demon teeth baring. Everyone was stunned. What is that? Dahlia shouted from behind to distract it. Over here, you idiot! Emoto coordinated perfectly, unleashing a flaming attack. The fire blazed, shattering the dark demon to pieces. That's the end of you. But things weren't that easy. It gathered the small pieces back together into an even larger form than before. Suddenly, Maron rushed in and wiped it out in an instant. The soldier expressed his gratitude. My lord. They all had the same thought. To kill such a strong monster that easily. He kept thanking them profusely. Really, thank you, sir. The dwarf stepped forward and spoke up. I was so worried when my guards were attacked. Thanks to you, we survived. Marin suddenly realized who the dwarf was. Emoto also spoke up. Marin, you came to save us too, Dahlia added. Usually you only save the little ones, don't you? Marin wondered. That's the question I should be asking. Why did you two save the human? It could still be dangerous, please back out. A harsh voice suddenly rang out. Insolent, do you know who you are blocking? Everyone knelt down to apologize. I didn't know you were here. I didn't know. Greetings, your highness gnome. So they were your benefactors. Marin stood there stunned, not knowing what was happening. You two, what's going on? Who on earth is that? Dahlia and Emoto turned and shouted, Watch your mouth. Human, don't you know this person is? That warm, deep voice replied, It's all right. Living in different regions. How could you know everything? She introduced herself. I am the daughter of the Gnome Kingdom. Tata, daughter of the Golden Master. Oh, 2. Urag Gnome. Darkness blanketed the entire small town with stars twinkling in the sky. Dahlia sighed, panting with exhaustion. I thought they were just any dwarves. I never expected the gnome princess herself to show up here. Marin was curious. So who is this gnome person exactly? A sharp, stern voice barked. How dare you speak so disrespectfully? She is the princess of the gnome kingdom. So you knew from the start that she wasn't human? Of course. You only need to look at the bone structure to see the difference. Dahlia sighed and continued. Besides, do you really think I'd go out of my way to save a human? Marin thought to himself. No wonder those two rushed in without hesitation. I was a fool to hope for their humanity. He wondered, by the way, where is Emoto? She replied. As the team leader, she had to go to the guild to report the situation. Marin told himself. Since it involves a gnome princess, the guild certainly can't ignore it. From filing the reports to documenting the incident, she must be working really hard. So she really is a VIP to me. She just looks like an ordinary kid. Dahlia's face darkened, and she shouted, How dare you! How dare you talk about the gnome princess like that? The dwarf laughed heartily. I know in the eyes of humans we look like children, so you don't pay us any mind, right? Princess Ohira Gnome is in fact a full-grown adult. She is married and has children of her own. Marin felt quite disappointed. She already has a family. The dwarf continued calmly. Anyway, thank you all once again. Thanks to your team, things didn't get any worse. If the guards had been hurt, she would have worried endlessly, so I am truly relieved. Oh yes, sorry to have kept everyone waiting. Naga walked in with a calm voice. The procedures for confirming the incident are complete. You may leave now. The gnome happily spoke up. My benefactors, those who saved me, please tell me your names. Dahlia seemed nervous. Junjun Dan Marin Glazer. I see. I will never forget the names of those who saved my life. She continued. The carriage is waiting outside. Please, Princess Gnome. Yes, let's go. Goodbye, my benefactors. Small red items would look very good on you. Small red items. Only then did Dahlia speak up. Where is Emoto? Naga replied. We sent the gnome princess off first as a courtesy. There are still many things to verify, so it will take some time. I guess that can't be helped. Let's just wait for Emoto. Yeah. Night fell over the small town. Dahlia paced back and forth, worried. Emoto is taking so long, Marin added, or maybe something happened. Suddenly his empty stomach growled, gurgle. Oh, now that I mention it, we haven't even had dinner yet. She looked panicked. What are you planning to pull out this time? He took out a bowl of salad. What is that salad? This is the first time I've seen you eat just vegetables. Want some? She turned her head away. No thanks. Besides, you probably made it from a monster, didn't you? It's all vegetables, see, not a monster. In that case, give me some. She used a fork to take a small piece of vegetable and brought it to her mouth. There's no way he didn't put something weird in this salad, right? What is this? It's actually delicious. The vegetables are fresh and crunchy, perfectly combined with a light, tangy flavor. I especially love how you used oil instead of salad dressing. This is the best salad I've eaten. Since I left the forest, it's rare to see you make something this amazing. So what is this soft stuff? Marin's answer left her trembling. She dropped her fork. Slime Dahlia, you're shaking. Look, I didn't have enough ingredients to make a proper chestnut syrup pudding, so I just went with the simplest option, a salad. Oh, don't worry, most of the vegetables were just regular store-bought stuff. Dahlia's face went pale. What do you mean, most? Well, there's some other stuff mixed in. I caught some pinyu in the Riat dungeons, dried them out, ground them up, and threw them in. It's spicy, so it works great as a seasoning, right? If you use too much, it gets pretty hot, which is convenient for other dishes. She grabbed his collar in a rage. You're feeding me monster parts again. What do you mean, slime? What's pinyu? You just said it tasted good, so why are you complaining now? Because I had no idea you were using monsters in my food. Slimes are basically just like animals anyway. I've told you this a million times, it's fine. It's not about whether it's vegan or not, you human. Emoto walked in looking exhausted. Ugh, I'm so bored. Why are you two still being so loud this late at night? Emoto, you're late. Something wrong? There was so much paperwork to process, I'm completely drained. You were grateful that Emoto handled all that, but you said, anyway, I have something important to report to you two. Suddenly, what's so serious, Emoto? Cadle's Cherokee. As of today, you are officially promoted to B-rank adventurers. What? Hesselum spoke up in surprise. So you're the chaotic party that saved the dwarf princess Hellion. Hesselum, the vice guildmaster of the Moon Corps. And the kid in the middle is Emoto. She stuttered. Yes, that's right. Here is your B rank certificate. Don't lose it. I hope you continue to achieve great things. She cheered excitedly. Finally, I'm B rank. Just one more step to A rank. Dahlia, chime it in. Don't get cocky until I catch up to you. Dan, by the time you do, I'll probably already be A rank, he added. Do you guys even know how the party rank system works? Don't celebrate yet. The party rank is determined by the member with the lowest rank. Even though you're B rank, the other two are still C rank, so the whole party stays at C rank, Dahlia asked curiously. So we need to hurry up and rank up to become a B rank party. Once we hit B rank, we'll move straight to A rank. Marin spoke up. I had a question for him. He frowned, looking annoyed. What now, the Adrama 85 dragon attack? Do you have any information about the golden dragon? That happened before I was even born. So I don't know for sure, but I've heard plenty about how terrifying that event was. So I know a little bit. Dahlia and Emoto listened intently. Daisy would know better. She's the longest-serving staff member at the guild. Daisy said, I'll lead the way. Follow me. Thank you so much, sir. Heselim sat in his room, lost in thought. He kept repeating Marin's name. Marin Glazer, a man that powerful, suddenly appears out of nowhere, and he's looking for the golden dragon. I need to keep an eye on this. Marin curiously asked why she was investigating the golden dragon. She replied cheerfully, I was the one who locked the files on that case. So what do you want to know about the mad dragon? Its current whereabouts after the Adrama attack. Is there any info on where the golden dragon went? Whereabouts? You mean you want to know if it was killed or not? Back then, the dragon was believed to have been taken down by the adventurers. Marin froze. It was already destroyed. Marin clenched his fists, trembling, thinking, no way. That mad dragon has been dead for that long. Then what about my revenge? What have I been living for all these years? Daisy spoke up. But that information might not be accurate. Maron asked, what do you mean? She continued, the records say it was destroyed, but that was probably just noted based on the situation at the time. When it was being hunted back then, a massive amount of fire magic was unleashed on the dragon, but when the smoke cleared, it had vanished without a trace. So there was no body. Exactly. As if it never even existed. And since there were no more attacks after that, the guild decided to officially record it as the dragon having been defeated. Marin thought, human magic can't burn a dragon to ashes. In other words, his face turned grim. That mad dragon is definitely still alive somewhere. Is there anywhere I can look for more info? Oh, information. Perhaps the Thieves Guild could help you investigate that. But currently there aren't any Thieves Guilds here in Adrama. Speaking of guilds, the nearest major one is Forgotten. They only have one branch, so they aren't going anywhere. A glimmer of hope sparked in Marin's heart. Daisy explained that it's a place for adventurers to stay in the middle of the desolate wilderness. However, because the monster levels in the west are quite high, the guild restricts access. You can't even accept quests out west unless you've reached at least rank B. Thanks for letting me know. If there's nothing else, I'll take my leave. A place so dangerous that the guild has to restrict access. If I can make it to the west, I might be able to find information about the mad dragon. To do that, I have to reach rank B first. A few days later at the He-Salim Guild Hall, the trio Dahlia, Emoto, and Marin walked in looking visibly frustrated. The crowd started buzzing. That group is here again. This is already the third time today. I heard they took nearly 10 quests just last week. Thanks to them, the market is flooded with orc and harpy products, causing prices to crash. How can they get so much done in such a short time without taking a break? She said irritably. Please check the quest items, Nia. Yes, please wait a moment. Dahlia sighed. Marin's eating habits drain my spirit even more than rushing through these quests. I agree. Just yesterday he tried to eat 10 different types of slimes and got hit with every negative status effect imaginable, yet he kept eating. Meanwhile, we were still just struggling to stay upright. Marin thought to himself, as expected, slime salad is still the best. Dahlia continued, not only is he not remorseful, but it's creepy how he's still thinking about eating monsters. Emoto, why don't you learn a status ailment removal skill already? That seems pretty necessary. Nia, the receptionist, spoke up happily. Thank you for waiting. The verification for all quest items is complete. You all did a great job. Emoto summoned a system interface. So here is the rank-up application for the 2 members of the party and the team rank-up application. Nia and Dahlia exclaimed, You did that fast this time. She boasted happily, I had it ready to submit as soon as we got back from the dungeon. Did you hear the festival is starting soon? Nia asked curiously. The one held every summer. That's right. It's going to be lively for 2 whole weeks. Good grief, an annual event. Why do they put so much effort into it? It's perfect, as I was planning to take a break for a while. We've been running around without rest lately. Why don't we relax during the festival? Dahlia agreed. I agree. Lately, we've only been resting on weekends. Marin thought to himself, the Sun Festival. How much time has passed and they're still keeping it going? He felt a wave of sadness remembering the past. If he recalled correctly, he used to wander around and watch the festival with everyone else back then. The employee spoke up. The members of the rebel party have been verified. Nia, could it be Mr. Dahlia and Marin Glazer, both of you have met the requirements. You can now promote to rank B. There is just one final procedure. Oh my, such great news! Someone stepped forward, their voice excited. It sounds like I'm about to be surpassed, huh? It was Hasu. He was cheerful, but I can't hide my excitement. She said angrily, that guy? Why is he showing up again? Dahlia scowled. What do you want this time? Isn't it enough? Do you want a fight? He continued, fight what for? I just stopped by to acknowledge everyone's achievements. Someday you'll all reach rank A like me. Maron turned away quickly, thinking to himself, it's best not to interact with a lunatic. He kept prying. By the way, since you're reaching rank B, isn't it time you revealed your face to everyone? I've been curious for so long. A powerful individual who appeared out of nowhere like you fell from the sky and yet no one knows what you look like. Hasu's face turned sly from rank B onwards. You become almost a core force of the guild. If you can't show your face, how can anyone trust you? Dahlia shouted angrily. Don't talk nonsense. Why are you suddenly demanding to see his face? It has nothing to do with you. She continued. Are you still obsessed with Marin's face? Hasu laughed. Am I wrong? Why are you two reacting so strongly? Emoto warned. Don't touch my teammate's face, Nia thought. Emoto, what's wrong? Come to think of it, has anyone actually seen his face? Isn't it strange eating monsters is already weird enough as it is? The employee intervened. Excuse me, sorry to interrupt while you're all discussing, but the hero makes a good point. What, you too? Therefore, we need to record your appearance and identifying features during registration. So there's no other way. Dahlia pounded her chest. Even if I, an elf, vouch for his identity, is that not enough? The employee interrupted. Even though you say that rules are rules. Then turning to Maron, if revealing it to the public is too difficult, you can just show us the receptionists. What is that supposed to mean? Hasu teased. Is the He Salam Guild planning to officially cover up for a dangerous person? If he's a dangerous individual with an unknown identity, don't other adventurers have the right to see his face to ensure their own safety? That's right. There are rumors that guy in the hood used to target newbie parties just to kill them. Just because he's quiet and doesn't take quests doesn't mean his criminal record disappears. Now that you mention it, that's actually pretty scary. Dahlia gritted her teeth in anger, thinking, that bastard. He's trying to stir up everyone's anxiety. He continued to provoke, if there's no reason to hide your identity, there's no reason you can't show your face. That's not right. Emoto turned to reassure him. Maron, don't listen to that scumbag Nia. We'll find a way to prove your identity no matter what. Suddenly, Maron turned and swatted her hand away. Are you two okay, Marin? Are you all right? Marin's burning tears hit the cold floor. No. He desperately tried to hold back his tears. Stop it, please. Looking toward the trembling Marin. Emoto asked anxiously, Marin, what's wrong? Dahlia followed up. Your reaction is pretty suspicious, you know. Hasu wore a mocking grin. We've come this far, and you still won't show your face. I'll ask the press corps to investigate you to see just how you earned that title of Comrade Killer. For all we know, you might be a dangerous criminal. Maron suddenly bolted outside to everyone's shock. Wait, Marin! Emoto barked at Hasu, her voice laced with rage. You scumbag, how dare you insult my comrade? Say one more word, I dare you. I'll chop your head off right here and now. Hasu laughed maniacally. Look at that. For people who hate humans like you lot, your actions aren't much better, are they? Her eyes darkened, ready to strike, but Dahlia stopped her. Dahlia, don't hold me back enough, Emoto snapped. There are too many eyes on us, Emoto, Dahlia continued. Our team will get into trouble. If you attack an adventurer, that is. You're the team leader, don't forget our goal. She grumbled, but Dahlia, this human bastard did that to our comrade. She sighed. I know, but not here, not now. Maron hid behind a door, trembling. My comrades are more important. He kept running, his heart pounding. Why am I running so fast? I know it'll cause trouble for the team if I run away, but I didn't know how long he had been running. His legs felt like lead. Under the hazy night sky, Marin sobbed, his tears filled with resentment. He whispered to himself, I have to get out of here. He silently walked to a pile of rubble, changed his clothes, and headed back to Adorama. He quietly changed again. What is this? Is there something on my forehead? Could it be? He put his mask back on. Do I still look like a monster? Even though all our team members are rank B if the application isn't approved. Our team can't rank up. But if I show my face... He thought about the ridicule and insults people would throw at him. What is that, a monster for sure? You've got to be kidding me, what kind of face is that? Why is a monster allowed in the Adventurers Guild? Is it a monster in disguise? Catch it, call the guards now. Thinking of the horrified faces of Dahlia and Emoto, if they saw his true face, he realized he could never go back to the team if that happened. I have to go. Suddenly a voice called out. Dahlia was chasing after him, panting heavily, and threatened, If you run again, I'll shoot a tracking arrow into your leg. Let's talk. Night fell and they were in a house. Dahlia and Emoto looked at him with angry eyes. Marin just sat there, head bowed, saying nothing. Dahlia broke the awkward silence. I don't blame you for running away. Sorry, but how long do you plan on avoiding this? Are you not going to tell us why you won't let anyone see your face? Emoto added, at least tell us the reason. Otherwise, how can we find a solution? Come on, tell us. Marin trembled as he spoke. I was involved in an incident a while back, and because of it, I was labeled a comrade killer. Before that incident, I had never killed anyone. But ever since then, I felt like my face had become twisted like a monster's. From that point on, I assumed that anyone who saw my face would react the same way, like it was some kind of hideous monster. That's why I'm afraid for the sake of the guild and everyone, including you. If anyone saw my monster-like face, it would only bring trouble to you, my teammates. You're aiming for rank A, aren't you? I don't want to ruin your goal. Dahlia cut him off. Wait, Marin, what are you talking about? Before things get worse, it's best you find a new member. She stood up abruptly and slammed the table. Don't talk nonsense. What do you mean, find a new member? Why are you deciding this all by yourself? Dahlia also exclaimed, So all this time did you think we didn't matter at all? We even accepted the fact that you're human. He remained calm. Maybe you think you won't care and that it doesn't matter to me. But once you see this hideous face, you'll change your minds immediately. The two looked at each other confused. Dahlia slumped back into her chair. Being human is already ugly enough as it is. So I don't care what your face looks like. Emoto placed her hand on hers. Dahlia is right. We're already insane enough for eating monster meat anyway. Even if you were hideous underneath, it wouldn't be a big deal at all. We don't even care you're human after all. No matter if there's a grotesque monster or anything else behind that mask, we're still sticking with you. We're a team after all. That will never change, even though I've been betrayed and deceived by sweet talk before I want to trust again. So, can you make me a promise? You won't run away or scream when you see my face, will you? Dahlia said firmly. I swear on my honor I won't do that. She continued, and neither will I. I swear it on behalf of us sisters. Maron's hand trembled as he reached for his mask. As he slowly took it off his face, left Dahlia and Emoto stunned and slightly startled. It was a beautiful day with brilliant sunlight shining down on the house. People were buzzing with whispers. Hey, have you heard the news? That runaway adventurer is going to show his face today. Is he really that wanted criminal? Elva the Beastkin and his party is known for hating humans, right? So maybe he isn't human either. Are you stupid? He has the title Kinslayer after all. So he must be a human for sure. Hasu sighed. All right, that's enough. Everyone be quiet. Who knows, maybe he's just an innocent, ordinary person. Everyone applauded him simultaneously. If the hero says so, it must be true. He wore a triumphant smile, thinking to himself, Fools, his race doesn't matter. The point is, he's a criminal with a bounty. He must have a reason to hide his face and run. If I can sway public opinion, he'll be shunned and forced to leave. That will ensure he can never come back to this guild again. Salam spoke up. They are just blowing things way out of proportion. It's better to save that energy for completing missions. Shall we go? Naga asked anxiously. But will it be okay if we look past Marin's personal issues? The chaotic party is full of promising adventurers. They are a team with great potential. Despite the rumors about his past, their teamwork is excellent. He tapped the table gently. If that bond is broken, if he truly can't show his face, it doesn't matter. Do you know why people choose to be adventurers instead of mercenaries? Because adventurers have something called trust. Thanks to that, they are treated as human shields in wars or large-scale dungeons, unlike mercenaries. Even though their combat ability might be lower, they are more versatile. Adventurers take on everything from investigations to hunting. Their crime rate is also lower, so it's no surprise when many mercenaries switch to becoming adventurers, and the guild's growth is thanks to exploiting this. I don't like that hero guy either. But with the title Kinslayer, his habit of eating monsters, and his identity as an unknown powerhouse, there are too many reasons why I can't interfere to stop that arrogant hero. I cannot risk the guild's reputation just to recruit a promising individual like Maron. She shouted, "They're here!" The chaotic party had arrived. People whispered and muttered again. How dare he show his face so brazenly? Doesn't he feel any shame? If you were going to show up publicly, why did you run away yesterday? An employee asked anxiously. Maron, are you okay? Before that, he had fled. Why appear before the crowd now? Marin only stayed silent, head bowed. A hand was placed on his shoulder. Don't worry, Marin, Dahlia said to comfort him. We told you yesterday that it would be okay. Just trust us. He softly spoke, all right then. His hands trembled as they reached for the mask. White hair spilled out from under the mask. Clatter. A glass cup hit the ground and shattered. Everyone's jaws dropped in shock, speechless. What Hasu, who was mocking him a second ago, looked horrified, eyes wide. Even if his face was hideous, it's rude to react like that in front of someone. But a second later, he was stunned. Behind the mask was Marin's face, looking incredibly handsome. No way, beneath that. How can someone have a face like that? He's human, right? That's a face no one has ever seen before. Where on earth did he come from? Is he really a man? He's even prettier than most of the women here, Emoto said calmly. It's nothing special. You guys are all overreacting, Dahlia added. Have you forgotten about last night? Remembering last night when Marin took off his mask and shyly apologized, both Dahlia and Emoto had frozen. It must look scary, right? I'm sorry for letting you see this hideous face. Like this, she stepped forward, snatched the mask away, then threw it hard in front of him. Marin felt completely confused. Emoto trembled as she spoke. You... She turned back, casting a sharp glare at him. If you ever try to lie to others again, if you keep hiding behind that mask, I'm going to smash that miserable head of yours. Marin touched his own face. Is it really that horrific? What do you mean, horrific? How could you call a face like this horrific? You jerk! Dahlia rushed to stop him. Emoto, I know you're angry, but please calm down. With a face like that, why on earth do you think you look like a monster? Marin explained. Sometimes I remember that incident and I get distracted. My memories are so chaotic that I can't even remember what my own face looks like at times. And what's worse, every time I try to recall that event, the memories get so jumbled that even if I try to look in a mirror, that terrifying trauma makes me freeze in fear. When you look at your own reflection, are you afraid that someone might recognize you? Maybe he would be summoned back to the royal palace. Meanwhile, Dahlia and Emoto were scolding the people who were teasing Marin. Hey, what are you staring at, you brats? Once you're done looking, get lost, you insolent fools. How dare you treat our comrade like some commoner? It was exactly the kind of arrogance from these people that I hate with a burning passion. We were just having a look, why make such a fuss? What a bunch of cheapskates. Hero, what do you think? Wait, where did the hero go? I was standing right here just a second ago, in a deserted alley. Hasu angrily punched the wall. How dare they? How dare they look down on me, a hero? Someone approached and barked. What the hell are you doing? Are you so unhinged that you have to destroy the wall? Judging by your clothes, you look loaded. Hey, hand over all your money. With one strike. Hasu took the man out on the spot. Why was he covering his face completely with that helmet? Even if he was shunned for the title of companion killer, he gritted his teeth. Ah, so that's it. This was a trap he laid for me from the beginning. After stealing my title as the first to conquer the dungeon, now he wants to destroy my status and reputation too. My reputation as a hero too. You pathetic waste of space. A person dressed in black appeared from behind. Lord Hero, is the task finished? He turned back with a calm smile. Let's head back to the royal capital immediately. And remember to clean up that mess. Just a madman daring to swing his sword at me, the hero. Understood, we will prepare the carriage as soon as we finish cleaning up. Oh, I see your dark scheme now. You want to steal my glorious and flawless reputation, don't you? I'll show you what happens when you cross a hero. He would surely regret it. Marin Glazer at the Sun Festival. It's a traditional festival in Adorama. It takes place when the earth transitions into spring, the bustling music along with the passionate dances under the bright golden sun. It's also famous for its countless delicacies. Adorama, the most prosperous trade center in the region. Cheers! Emoto cheered excitedly. We've worked hard for so long. Now we have to eat and drink to our heart's content. Dahlia was confused to see Marin staring blankly at the food without saying a word. Hey, why the long face? She asked curiously. Is it because of how people treated him like a mannequin in the clothing store earlier? This outfit looks great on you, try it on. What if you combine it with this coat? Making someone change clothes for 3 hours straight without a break is way too much, Dahlia. You look like you're possessed. It's scary. Marin glanced at the bags behind them. I don't need this many clothes, Dahlia snapped. What, you think I'm going to let you keep wearing those rags? With a face like that, you have an obligation to dress better. She sighed. I totally agree, Marin. You should wear something decent. Marin's cheeks flushed red. In his heart, he thought, why does it feel like I'm the one in the wrong? Thinking back, how long has it been since he took off his helmet to walk down the street? Everyone broke into applause when they looked at Maron. That guy is so handsome. Where, let me see, she continued. Anyway, since the festival is going on, you have to take the opportunity to learn about fashion from Dahlia, she shouted when she saw Maron reach for that mask. Why are you covering your face again? Take it off right now. The steak is going to lose its flavor. Dahlia added, we spent so much effort on your look and now you're hiding it. I'm just shy. He's used to wearing that rusty helmet for so long, so he needs time to get used to it. Dahlia comforted Maron. You'll get used to it eventually. Don't worry, look here, with this face. You can be proud to stand in front of anyone. The song echoed, Uncle Lucky is drunk. Uncle Lucky drank beer and is snoring. His nose is bright red. His beard is messy. He's drunk. Uncle Lucky drank beer and is snoring. Uncle Lucky drank beer and is snoring. Come, little girl from my dreams, let's dance with me. Do you remember when the sister asked you back then, Maron, why do you just stand there watching instead of dancing? And you replied, I don't know how to dance. And she just held out her hand to you with a gentle smile saying, it's perfectly fine. She looked at you happily and said, festivals are meant for everyone to enjoy together. You don't have to be good at it, just let yourself move with the music. Come on, let's dance. The sister pulled you to go have fun with the kids while Uncle Lucky was chugging beer, snoring away with his bright red nose and shaggy beard. When the girl curiously asked, Marin, what are those people doing? You replied, it sounds like a folk song. And they're dancing to the rhythm, weight dancing. That looks so fun, shall we give it a try? Dahlia sighed, why do we have to mimic those humans? You're the only one who knows this, but Marin teach us I'm not very good at dancing. It's fine, festivals are meant for everyone to enjoy together. Right, I don't know how it is in Adorama, but that's how we do it back home. Marin felt a sense of familiarity hearing those words. Hurry up, the music is almost over. Wait, don't pull me. Emoto snatched off Marin's mask. If you want to dance, you've got to take this off. The little kids turned back to look at you with joyful smiles. That guy is so handsome, come dance with us. You're such a pretty boy. That century-long void I never realized is finally being filled. What delicious treat should I try tomorrow? Everyone praised Marin in unison. That guy dancing over there is really handsome, isn't he? Marin, what kind of clumsy dancing is that? I told you I don't know how to dance. Hey, Chaos Party! Daisy hurried over. So this is where you guys are? I've been looking everywhere. We're just taking a break from our mission. Daisy couldn't stop showering him with praise. Oh, my Marin, I never expected you to look so good in casual clothes instead of armor. Marin shyly covered his face, and Dahlia looked helpless. She's already seen it, so why bother hiding it anymore? It's not an urgent matter, but I have something for you all. What's this? Actually, there's a special mission reserved just for your group. A special mission. A mysterious space appeared. A hand was silently washing feet, and the woman sitting in the center looked quite powerful as she spoke softly. The other person replied, as you wish. The man spoke up. My beautiful lady, I have found the location and even have a portrait of the person you requested. The lady smiled happily. Oh my, that's so efficient. Bring it here and let me see. A jewel was brought forward and the girl lightly touched it. Maron's face immediately appeared. Found him at last. Excellent. Give the reward to the informant as promised. And prepare a carriage and a magnificent dress for me. I will go there myself. To the place where he is the northern continent, a highland where jagged mountains stretch endlessly, but even on this barren land, there are still people living there. The wooden carriage wheels stopped and a voice called out, We've arrived. Everyone please step down. The person from the carriage slowly stepped out. Maron and his teammates looked ahead, wondering, so this is it. In the mining village of Emoto's small ears suddenly picked up a sound. Then, both she and Dahlia clutched their heads, wincing. It's so loud. What is this deafening metallic noise? I think I'm going deaf. Emoto glanced toward the fiery furnaces burning everywhere. The air was pitch black with smoke, making it hard to breathe. Dahlia wondered, it's a mining village, so why are there nothing but blacksmiths? The two who had been bothered by the ear-splitting noise finally stopped. We just finished the festival and now we have to go work on the northern continent. I wanted to rest more. Who exactly is this? Who would send a private request right after we hit rank B? Marin just silently read the paper in his hand, and personal requests were usually a luxury only for the high nobility. Morgano Gold Workshop never heard of them. Are they rich enough to place private requests? Besides, we aren't even that famous since we just leveled up. Don't tell me they're going to make some unreasonable demands. You led the way to a spot, looked up, and checked the map. It has to be here. The massive house radiated a mysterious aura. Emoto raised her hand and knocked a few times on the wooden door. Excuse me, is anyone here? We are the Chaos Party. But the roaring sounds of the furnace drowned them out. There was no response whatsoever. She started to lose her patience. Should I knock harder so they can hear us? Dahlia quickly stopped her. Don't, if the door breaks, who's going to pay for it? Emoto. It's so loud in this alley, how else are we supposed to call them? Dahlia stood beside her, trying to advise, just keep knocking, someone will definitely open up eventually. Just as they were about to walk straight in, Marin noticed a small square next to the door. It looked exactly like a doorbell, so he reached out and pressed the diamond-shaped gem. The blue center glowed. Emoto blinked in surprise. Marin, what did you just do? He pointed at the square and replied, there was a button next to the door, so I figured I'd give it a try. Just then, the door swung open. A short, elderly dwarf appeared. Looking at them, he said, an elf, a beastkin, and a human. You're the motley crew, aren't you? We've been expecting you. Come on in. After ushering the three of them inside, the dwarf told them, please wait here. She will be right out. Emoto bowed her head, looking embarrassed, and coughed softly. Honestly, this whole thing is a bit unnecessarily complicated, isn't it? We almost broke the door just now. Suddenly, a voice replied, this technology hasn't been commercialized yet. Sorry for the inconvenience. Gnome stepped out, her face smudged with dirt. Thank you all for answering my summons. Upon seeing her, the group couldn't help but be amazed. Is that really Lady Gnome? Dahlia and Emoto quickly knelt down. Lady Gnome, why would you summon the likes of us? We are truly honored. We will do our absolute best to serve you. Genome waved her hand and laughed. I told you there's no need to be so formal. Sit down, get comfortable, and let's chat for a while. After a pot of hot tea was brought in, Gnome took a slow sip. Emoto carefully asked, Lady Gnome, why did you call us here? She spoke seriously. I called you to ask for help collecting materials for weapon crafting. While looking into things, I discovered that Hisalim allows for direct requests here. That's when I learned about personal requests, and among the groups I could designate, I saw a familiar name, so I called you immediately. Hearing this, Emoto and Dahlia were so moved that they teared up. Lady Gnome remembers our names. I, Dahlia, am truly honored. Marin stood there stunned. They're that moved. He jumped right in to ask about the situation. By the way, Lady Gnome, didn't you go back to your homeland the other day? Why are you at a human village? Her voice dropped as she explained, I want to learn a truly important technique. As you know, we dwarves have spent our entire lives researching techniques for forging. We possess weapon technology that other nations can't even compare to. But because we focused so much on that, other skills were neglected and have slowly decayed. As the Demon King approaches and the turmoil grows, my people back home only obsess over making weapons. Meanwhile, the quality of life hasn't improved at all. This cannot be called true development. But recently, I discovered a wonderful technique in the human kingdom, an extremely important technique that we dwarves have to admire. Dahlia was curious. What is it? Dwarves are at the peak of technology, and yet you have to learn from humans. Gnome rested her chin on her hands, looking mysterious. It is. When she revealed the answer, her face was deadly serious. Cooking. As the three of them looked shocked, she continued, I was genuinely stunned when I tasted human food. From cooking utensils to every method of processing ingredients, humans have developed amazing techniques. The techniques related to cuisine have withered away to the point of almost disappearing, forgotten because of forging techniques. Craftsmen think that as long as they can swing a hammer well, that's all that matters. Food isn't important. She clenched her fist. So I have decided, Gnome declared with determination. If I don't fully master culinary techniques to satisfy myself, I will not return to my homeland. If you are willing, please tell me about your culinary culture as well. After explaining, she softened up. Now enough about personal matters. Marin bowed his head low, looking gloomy for a second, but then suddenly turned around with a bright, cheerful attitude. Before we finish, Gnome reminded them, listen carefully to the details and notes regarding the request I have for you. Emoto replied, yes, we understand. Scene shifts to the dungeon in the cave at night. Emoto cried out, it's pitch black. I told you to bring a light, Dahlia reminded her. Emoto lighted up. She raised her arm and immediately a blinding light appeared. Golden orbs floated around her. That's better, I can see now. Dahlia, read the list of items to find. What we need to find is a special white mineral speckled with red and the thigh bone of a monster found in this dungeon. Emoto peered inside. There are no minerals or monsters around here. She replied, according to the map, we need to go a bit deeper. It should be around here. Marin wore his iron helmet thinking. I wonder what kind of monster would taste good. What do dwarves hate eating? If this is a process to save the declining culinary culture of the dwarves, perhaps they won't be as picky about monster meat as humans. As long as it looks appetizing, it should be fine. The other two glanced at him and muttered, Maron, he's only thinking about stuffing that down their throats. If we let Lady Gnome eat that, our heads will be gone. Both shared the same thought. They had to stop him from bringing back monster meat at all costs. Emoto told herself, first I have to divert his thoughts. Suddenly she pointed in one direction and cheered, there's the mineral over there. Dahlia carefully observed it. This color isn't the type I'm looking for. It seems what we need isn't here. Emoto suggested, let's go deeper. Suddenly, Dahlia's sharp ears picked up a sudden noise. Wait, what's that sound? Emoto tensed up. Something is approaching. Where? Suddenly, a portion of the wall collapsed on her. Dahlia screamed, Emoto! A moment later, after things settled, she rushed over to help Emoto up. Are you okay? She stammered, I'm fine. The important thing is, over there. Dahlia also followed Emoto's gaze and was startled. Right in front of them stood a hulking monster, a level 40 catoblepas appearing with a savage ferocity. It let out a loud roar and charged forward. Maron calmly analyzed the situation. Its level wasn't very high, so many adventurers often let their guard down. But the real danger is the single eye on its head. If you accidentally meet that eye's gaze, your body will turn to stone instantly. Dahlia hid behind a rock and shouted, Ready, Marin? Just stick to the plan. Don't hold back, we're charging in. Immediately, he closed his eyes. Penetrating a catoblepas is easy to catch if you neutralize that eye. Just destroy it and both of you will be safe. Suddenly, a sharp horn lunged straight at Marin. He was sent flying by the impact. Emoto and Dahlia screamed in panic, Marin! Maron, are you okay? Marin decisively reached out and grabbed one of its horns, his feet digging hard into the ground. His whole body trembled from resisting the catoblepas. Seeing this, Emoto and Dahlia quickly reacted. Right now, let's rush into just a little more. Suddenly, Marin leaned back, and all at once he used his own iron head to smash directly into its stone eye. The other two twitched their lips. Hey, leave the rest to us. Maron, that's enough. The catoblepas roared and spat out a mouthful of green liquid. The substance hit Marin's helmet, knocking it off, but he only sighed slightly. My iron helmet is broken. Emoto picked up the helmet, turned her head, and smiled at him. That's fine, too. Now you have an excuse to get rid of that clunky piece of iron. Marin tilted his head slightly. But if I don't wear a helmet, I feel uneasy. In that split second, Emoto was completely defeated by that face. She frantically hugged her head and groaned. Looking at that face, I feel terribly guilty, like I've done something wrong. Nia. Then Emoto turned back to ask Dahlia, do you find it normal to look at Marin's face? Like that? She hesitated. Well, just think about it when he takes down a monster by himself, Dahlia said, regardless of his face. On the inside, he's still the same. No matter how handsome he is, that's still too much. Emoto nodded. Yeah, that's true. She glanced at Maron and thought to herself, who would have guessed someone with that face eats monsters? Meanwhile, I was still examining the parts of the catoblepas. I'll prepare enough to eat right now and save the rest. Its charge was pretty strong, so the hind legs must be good meat. Very quickly, the giant body was turned into a large slab of meat. Dahlia and Emoto were still reeling from the shock, Why do you keep putting such bizarre things in your mouth? That thing is dangerous too. Are you really planning to eat it? Marin sprinkled some liquid onto the meat. Catoblepas blood is extremely toxic. I'll pour the antidote over the meat, detoxify it, and then cut it into bite-sized pieces. The raw Catoblepas meat looked quite suspicious on the outside. He picked up a piece and looked closely. But it's softer and moister than I thought. I thought the hind legs would be as tough as a harpy's meat. Dahlia immediately reminded him, "Hey, Maron, did you forget that Catoblepas blood is extremely toxic?" He calmly replied, "It's fine. I've already soaked it in the antidote." Imoto expressed her repulsion. Soaking it in antidote is one thing, but looking at it doesn't seem like something that should be eaten at all. Marin didn't pay any attention and popped a piece into his mouth. Who knows, maybe it's as sweet as fruit. As soon as he tasted it, he couldn't help but be surprised. Maron was immersed in the aftertaste. The flavor was definitely beef, but the texture was like fish, even with marbling between the fibers. Like fresh-caught salmon. He never thought a new experience could be this great. It melts right on the tongue without needing much chewing. I didn't expect it to be this soft. With meat like this, making a steak would be amazing. Seeing his expression, Imoto felt a bit swayed. It's so dangerous, but it looks delicious. But anyway, that's not something that should be eaten. Dahlia quickly reminded him. Don't be fooled, Imoto, don't fall for the trap of that face. She looked at his satisfied expression. With that face, anything he eats looks delicious. Dahlia shuddered. The power of his appearance is truly terrifying. Marin continued, intending to cut more. I'll roast the rest. A monster, but the meat is just like fish, how strange. Suddenly, his complexion went pale and blood dripped from the corner of Marin's mouth. You've been poisoned. Seeing him fall, Imoto ran over. I knew it. She was both administering the antidote and scolding him. You stupid heavenly-struck idiot, don't you know what studying means? Marin's whole body trembled. The toxicity was so strong that even standard antidotes weren't working. Suddenly, he looked up and saw a status window. The content written on it was, New skill pain resistance passive, reduces sensitivity to pain and improves tolerance. Effect has a certain chance to resist pain status and is less likely to be knocked unconscious. After feeling a bit better, Marin turned to her and said, Thanks, Imoto. More importantly, I just got this skill. Imoto was surprised. Pain resistance. Dahlia sighed helplessly and explained, That skill is already in the guild records. Everyone has it. To get it, you just need to perform enough acts of self-harm causing actual pain to yourself. Hearing this, he was stunned. So all my monster eating counts as self-harm? Ah! Imoto clenched her fists. Only now are you surprised? Do you know who I had to learn status-curing magic for, huh? Dahlia quickly changed the subject. If you're okay, then get up. Let's go back to mining for ore. After that, the three of them returned to the house. We're back, you guys are home early, go ahead and unpack your stuff here. The dwarf was there to greet them as usual. Lady Gnome is busy with something important. Please wait a moment. Imoto sat with her legs crossed. The mission ended so fast, but this workshop is so dull, I'm bored to death. Just as she was feeling bored, a scent caught her attention. Hey, we haven't eaten yet, and this smell is... Looking at the plate of golden brown fried chicken on the table, they gasped in surprise. Is that crispy fried happy meat? Dahlia looked stern and lectured them. Are you crazy? How dare you bring such a jinxed thing into Lady Gnome's workshop? Marin calmly replied. Well, like Imoto said, we haven't eaten, so we're starving. Imoto, also hungry, did her best to defend the meal. Besides, Lady Gnome did say she'd be gone for a long time. As long as she doesn't find out, it'll be fine. Eat up before we get caught. Seeing Imoto hold up a piece, drool began to trickle down her chin. Marin pushed the plate of chicken toward her. Want to have some? She was dying to, but she played it cool. If you're going to insist, I suppose I'll reluctantly accept. As soon as she took a bite, Imoto was in heaven. It's incredible, the crispy coating just melts in my mouth. The seasoning is so rich and the meat is tender, juicy, and chewy, I can't get enough of it. Dahlia was trembling with rage. Imoto, you traitor! She started in surprise and made excuses. I had no choice. We have to finish it all before Lady Gnome gets back. No sooner had they mentioned her name than she appeared. What were you planning to finish before I returned? She spotted the plate of chicken. Gnome asked, Was I gone so long that you got hungry? What is that dish? Both of them immediately stammered. My Lady Gnome, this is... It's absolutely nothing. Naturally, she didn't believe them. Or did you cook this yourselves? Imoto quickly denied it. Oh no, absolutely not. How could I ever dare to eat something so monstrous? But Gnome wouldn't let it go, holding out her hand. Now I'm even more curious. Give me a piece of that. Imoto and Dahlia froze in panic. She said with anticipation, "Is this part of human culinary culture? I can't wait any longer." Imoto and Dahlia hurriedly tried to turn down her request. "Lady Gnome, you mustn't eat that disgusting thing, please, Please retract that order. For your noble lips to taste something so common, it would be—" Her whole demeanor darkened instantly. "How insolent! You children of the sun and the world tree, do you think you can stand in the way of my desires?" The two of them felt a brief shiver of fear. We wouldn't dare defy you, Lady Gnome." Ignoring their protests, Gnome reached out and took a piece of chicken. She put it into her mouth without hesitation. Gnome's eyes widened in surprise. She showered the dish with praise. Crispy on the outside, warm and tender on the inside. Every bite releases savory juices that fill my mouth, followed by the natural sweetness of the meat. And then the richness of the fat blends perfectly with the seasoning. This flavor even surpasses my dinner with that Earl. Marin was quite surprised as well. A royal figure, someone who must have tasted every delicacy in the world, was actually praising monster cuisine like this. Gnome asked curiously. "It's not as if I haven't been treated by the nobility before. So what creature is this meat from? Perhaps goose wings or milk-fed pork like humans raise?" She insisted on knowing. "Speak, what meat is this?" Imoto stammered. That is," Gnome said sternly. "I told you to speak. Where did you get such a delicious meal?" Finally, she had to struggle to get the words out. "Happy meat?" Gnome asked again. "Happy. Among the birds humans raise, is there a breed called Happy?" Imoto explained, trembling. "No. This is the meat of the happy monster, a species with a face that, as soon as she finished, an eerie silence fell over Gnome. Happy. Happy meat." The guards behind her prepared to charge. "Lady Gnome has been so kind to you," they shouted in anger. "How dare you feed her something so revolting? This insolence is unforgivable. Medics, examine Lady Gnome immediately." "What if she's been poisoned?" Marin raised his hand. "I removed all the toxins while preparing it, so I'm sure it's safe." The two dwarves interrogate him. "Is it you? Are you the one who cooked that disgusting thing? We're taking you to the capital for execution." Suddenly, Gnome raises a hand and signals to stop. "He's right. I'm fine. Put your weapons away. They tried to stop me, but I ate it on my own. It's not their fault. Therefore, I will grant them amnesty. But this dish, it's actually made of harpy meat." I'm genuinely impressed. Even knowing the ingredients, I can't deny how delicious it is. Gnome asks curiously, "Are all monsters this tasty? When prepared this way, no." Marin honestly replies, "No, there are many types that are inedible, let alone tasty like harpy." She rests her chin on her hand, seriously considering how this cooking method could make monster meat better than livestock. This is truly worth researching. We must start by classifying edible monsters and identifying which ones can be detoxified. Suddenly, Gnome remembers something important. "Now that I mention it, I heard your weapons broke while fulfilling my request." He replies, "Yes." Then she declares, "Not only did you deliver the items I requested perfectly, but you also let me taste a rare delicacy. As a special favor, I will personally forge new weapons for all of you." As soon as she finished, both Imoto and Dahlia were shocked to their cores. "What, Lady Gnome herself? That's unbelievable. It's such a huge honor," but she adds a condition. "From now on, I want you to teach me everything about monster cuisine." Hearing that, both of them turn back to look at Marin with tense expressions. Then he calmly accepts, "As you command, Lady Gnome." Scene change to the shared house. Daisy happily announces, "The request has been verified. Congratulations on completing the mission." Imoto and Dahlia are incredibly excited. "Lady Gnome is going to forge gear for us with her own hands. Is this a dream? In 116 years as an elf, I've never had such an honor." She turns her head and sighs toward Maron. "About that." He drops some green potion onto a piece of meat. He explains while focusing on his work, "The gnome lady is interested in monster cuisine too, right?" "Right, that's why I'm researching it." Dahlia is speechless. "But," she shouts, "don't bring that disgusting thing out in public." Marin replies, "But I need to check the concentration of the antidote right now." Suddenly, Daisy remembers something. "Sir Marin Glacier, I have news regarding your previous request. There are only a few requests left from the Western continent. Are you interested?" He wonders, "But didn't you say the West was a restricted area? Can a team that just reached rank B even go there?" She replies, "Of course." Daisy explains, "Actually, Lady Gnome was very pleased when your team completed the mission. She even wrote a recommendation letter for the Chaos team, Thanks to that, your team's reputation with the guild has skyrocketed, so we can finally investigate the mad dragon. Maron asks carefully and thoroughly, do we have to decide right now? She smiles slightly. These requests are first come, first served, so the sooner the better. Hearing that, he glances toward Emoto and Dahlia, but I haven't heard what Daria and Emoto think. Marin walks over and asks the two of them, Daria, Emoto, what do you think about the dragon I'm searching for? I heard there's a guild branch in the west that has information on it. He makes everything clear. If both of you agree, I want to go to the west. Suddenly, Maron is interrupted. Why do you keep asking? It turns out Emoto and Dahlia didn't take it as seriously as he thought. You don't need to be so hesitant about every little thing. It's related to the goal you mentioned, isn't it? Plus, taking high-ranking requests helps us level up faster. Finally, Emoto cheers and declares, then our next destination is the west. Marin replies softly, thank you, Daria, Emoto. All right, the list of requests is finally ready. I'll register it for the chaotic party to pick up tasks on the western continent. Suddenly, Dahlia nudged him. Hey, look at that. They're all staring at the crowd gathering over there. What's going on? The guild entrance is so noisy. Someone peered through the window. What is it? Down on the street, a line of carriages was passing by. Everyone was buzzing. So many servants is some noble visiting. A woman stepped down from the carriage. She's finally here. The collector of my new treasures, Bonita Jedi Madoa. Her appearance only fueled the crowd's curiosity. Wait, isn't that the great Countess Madoa? Her territory is in the top 5. The richest on the continent. Why would she be here? Naga rushed forward, bowing respectfully. Countess, to what do we owe the honor of this sudden visit? If you would just state your business, we will arrange a seat and resolve it immediately. But Bonita just shot him a cold, icy glare. Move aside, you commoner. I have no business with the likes of you today. Seeing her heading their way, Marin's party muttered, that noble. She seems to be heading straight for us. What could a noble want with people like us? Sure enough, she stopped right in front of him. Bonita looked him over completely unabashed. Seeing you in person, you're even better than I imagined. You're worth far more than I ever dreamed. She reached out to gently stroke a lock of his hair, her eyes sparkling like they were filled with crushed amethysts. Pure white hair, shimmering like the finest silk. You are the very embodiment of pure beauty. Maron silently wondered. This situation feels strangely familiar. Dahlia was the first to speak up. Hey you, what do you think you're doing? Just barging in here like that. Suddenly she raised her voice. I have decided, Bonita declared. You an incomparable, beautiful creature. You shall be mine. I will take you to a place worthy of that face. Come with me, Emoto. Emoto, who had been silent until now, prepared to lash out. Are you crazy? Maron isn't some object. Suddenly, a group of her people appeared to block them. They were furious but powerless. Bonita covered her mouth and giggled, fine. Let's get out of this wretched place. Marin, from start to finish, had remained silent. Emoto and Dahlia were fuming, trying to block Bonita's moves. Marin, who on earth is this person? Is she someone you know? He could only clutch his head and sigh. No, she's not an acquaintance, but I know exactly what's happening now. Back then a noble suddenly demanded I become theirs just because they thought I was pretty. She continued with her compliments. Your voice is wonderful too. I will personally grant you the most beautiful room in my mansion. Emoto was getting angrier by the second. How dare you just try to take him away like that? Marin isn't a slave. Suddenly her expression shifted. A lowly creature like you dares to speak to me so boldly? Don't forget the only reason I haven't wiped you noisy pests out yet is because you're companions to this beautiful man. And did you say slave? Absolutely not. Look at those people over there, they all became mine for the same reason as you, and they are living happy lives. I am nothing like those pigs who force themselves on young pretty men and women in their territories only to toy with them and discard them when they get bored, even when they're still in their prime. I always pay a price. A price that is fair, and I absolutely never use cruel violence. If you become mine, I guarantee you will live a life where you never have to worry about food or money. I even pay wages several times higher than an ordinary servant. Beautiful things deserve to live in velvet and silk. Maron narrowed his eyes, trying to recall. Why do I feel like I've heard this pitch somewhere before? He suddenly blurted out a question. By any chance, among your ancestors was there someone named Messier? Hearing that, she became even more excited. Oh, I didn't expect you to know my grandfather. It seems you are quite well versed in noble lineage. Once confirmed, Marin remembered that look. Of course I know him. Their methods have always been exactly the same. Benita urged him, "Come, let's go. In the carriage I will listen to your wishes at your leisure." But Maron flatly replied, "I refuse." She didn't understand your only job is to be there for me to admire. To look at your beautiful face whenever I get tired, that's all. But he still refused. "I don't want to." Benita didn't give up. "Every day you'll be treated to the finest delicacies and exotic dishes. I will provide high-end baths and the softest beds. And essential oils and skincare every day, too." Marin kept his answer the same. "Thank you, but I don't need any of that." This time she started to panic. "You can do whatever you want. And you'd still receive a generous allowance in gold, wouldn't you?" he replied calmly. "Even so, I still refuse." Benita's hands were trembling so hard they were shaking. "Why?" she gritted her teeth. "You adventurers, what is it exactly that makes you so determined to refuse? I didn't even use my noble status to force you before that guy Uncommon or Common or whatever his name was, a hero with decent looks. He made excuses about saving the world or having important missions to turn me down with ridiculous reasons." Benita suddenly flashed a dangerous smile. "If it's come to this, I don't care if I have to turn him into a slave. I am going to add him to my collection." Meanwhile, in the crowded room, the magic orb sensed something ominous. "It sounds pretty noisy over there. Did something happen?" Hey Salim replied, "It looks like things are starting to heat up." Meanwhile, Benita was still plotting. She glanced at his companions, thinking, "They'll definitely fight back if I force him to go. If I fake being attacked and get into a scuffle, I can easily frame them for illegal slavery." A giant bear man approached, and Maron saw it coming. Dahlia barked, "Humans never change, do they? I won't let you have your way." He clenched his fists, telling himself, "I really didn't want to cause trouble, but I guess I have no choice. But since she's a noble, I'll hold back as much as I can." Just then a voice cut through the air. "May I interrupt your conversation?" Salim chimed in. "Even for a countess, causing a scene over personal matters makes things very awkward for everyone." She covered her mouth and laughed dismissively. "Causing a scene. It's just a minor disagreement while collecting my 11th piece of art, that's all." He held up the orb. "Someone wants to speak with you, Countess. Please talk to them directly." Right after that, Gnome's figure appeared. Benita's expression turned frantic. "You are—" Everyone there was equally shocked. "Lady Gnome," she spoke first. "I don't think I've seen your face before. I am the daughter of the master of the Golden Treasury Gnome. Benita, isn't it?" Benita performed a formal greeting. "I am Countess Benita Medora, my lady." Then Gnome started her lecture. "Medora, the one who built that art gallery, right? It is indeed beautiful, and I don't mind people who appreciate art. However, I never thought a countess would go so far as to put living creatures in glass display cases. Humans are born of parents. They shouldn't be raised like potted plants. Humanity only shines its true value when they are free to pursue their dreams unchained. Besides, these people are my precious benefactors. To steal them away without respecting their wishes." Benita was panicked. "No, I was just proposing a fair reward." This response displeased Gnome. "Are you intending to cause a diplomatic conflict with me?" She quickly backtracked. I absolutely did not mean that." She was incredibly confused. Why would a common adventurer be protected by Gnome? Finally, Benita changed her mind. "You handsome man, I will respect your wishes for now, but at least let me paint your portrait." However, Maron refused. "I don't like it. It feels like I'm being treated like a specimen." She pouted. "What if I can't even have a portrait? Then I'm not leaving," Gnome urged. "Calm down now. To thank you for respecting them, I will personally craft a gold ornament for you." Benita was stunned. An ornament crafted by Lady Gnome's own hands. She smiled gently. "Of course." Then Benita snapped her fingers. "If that's the condition, then fine." With that, she led her group away. "Everyone, that's enough. Let's head back." Imoto and Dahlia rushed over to check on him. "Marin, are you all right?" Meanwhile, Benita hadn't truly given up, thinking to herself, "Remember this well. You handsome commoner. No matter how much that gem sparkles, you will always stand out in a crowd. Surely one day, you will have to set foot in the capital. When that time comes, in the name of the noble Medora family, I will definitely make you mine." Hey Salim said to Gnome. "Thank you for your help, my lady," she replied. "I'm glad everything was resolved smoothly. Now if you'll excuse me, I must return to my work. I will be in touch with the guildmaster." Maron spoke up in gratitude. "Thank you for saving us, Deputy Guildmaster." But he brushed it off. "Thank the Lady Gnome. Being caught between high-ranking figures is the thing I hate most." After that incident, Imoto and Dahlia suggested we should probably leave for the west quickly before more trouble finds us. "You're right. With that face of yours, who knows what kind of disaster is waiting? Maybe I should wear my helmet again like before. No way, that would be such a waste, absolutely not. Naga overheard and gave a special warning. If you're heading west, please be careful. The situation there is quite complicated. She asked, is there a problem? Naga said the Dogama's Shrine Ruin dungeon that the guild requested is a trap-type dungeon. It requires a deep understanding of traps and high professional skills. Initially, a specialized team was sent to investigate, but they met with a serious accident inside the dungeon and still haven't woken up, which led to this recruitment. I know your chaotic team has skills, but you should be very careful in that dungeon. It's a place where a single mistake in the blink of an eye can lead to tragedy. They looked at each other somewhat worried. It's at that level. As expected, the West is really different. It seems we need to prepare thoroughly. Marin silently rubbed his chin, thinking of the Dogamusa Ruins altar. If he remembered correctly, the place was full of traps, but the difficulty level should have been manageable. If a team specialized in traps had been formed, there was no way they would have been wiped out to that extent. I thought to himself how strange it was all the while. In a gloomy place, a stern voice rang out, "Before long, the Monster King will descend upon this land. The blood of those fools who refuse to submit will flow like rivers. We will offer up rotting flesh to forge a body for the great Demon King." The crowd below blindly chanted, "Aterum, Aterum." He kept brainwashing everyone, and the great Demon King's first lieutenant spoke up. When he descends, we must help our lost brethren. That is why we must keep moving forward. We will rescue our comrades who are being held by the godless, those who claim to be the masters of this barren land, humiliated. When the new era comes, all of us will become the roots and the virtue of this land. Iterum, iterum. Once again, let us strive to eliminate the pure black of the great Demon King. We must find and eliminate all the filthy white things of this world. He shouted loudly, "Please pray so that our martyrdom does not become meaningless." The ignorant followers were led by the nose, Hoc Mundo Itrium Itrium Itrium. The western continent, the Rhone wasteland, a barren, desolate region. It was a land so parched that you couldn't even see a single living creature. Yet adventurers still kept flocking to this desert. Atop looked back and said to the party, "We're almost there. We'll see the dungeon in just a moment." Imoto was gasping for air. "It's too hot. I'm going to die." "I didn't expect it to be this hot." She slumped over on the camel's back. "We shouldn't have come here. We should have let that suppression team handle it." Dahlia frowned. "It's too late to complain now." Suddenly, Atop speculated, "I don't think those specialists can get back on their feet yet either." Dahlia was quite surprised. "I heard it was just a minor accident." He began to recount. Well, it was indeed an accident during the raid, but it seems the traps the team had scouted beforehand suddenly triggered based on completely different patterns. The whole team was seriously injured or knocked unconscious, so they need time to recover. But if we leave that dungeon alone while the monsters are multiplying, there's a chance the structure of the dungeon has changed because monsters are spilling out, so we can't let our guard down. Atop continued to explain, "This is a mine trap-type dungeon, so progress will be slow, but we have the guidebook the guild compiled with all the information. They gathered about the traps, so don't worry. When we reach the entrance, I'll give it to you." However, Imoto was still puzzled. But wasn't that the same group that gathered the information and then ended up in a coma because of the traps? Dahlia, standing nearby, chimed in to explain, "Well, in trap-style dungeons, accidents happen very frequently, even in areas that have been cleared." She added, "The investigation was long, and the surplus of monsters might have triggered the traps or changed the layout." The two of them kept talking. "Come to think of it, I've heard there are dungeons where the terrain itself shifts. Could the number of monsters have increased even while we were on our way here?" This time, Marin spoke up. "According to the guild's last check, it was still fine." Imoto replied, "Then we'd better hurry." As the scene shifted to the dark dungeon, a severed head wrapped in cloth fell to the ground. Imoto tensely watched the situation. These guys, no matter how many you defeat, they just don't stop. The guidebook says the monsters are still under control, but there's already a pile of them. Suddenly, a flash of light zipped past her. The mummy behind her immediately collapsed to the ground. Dahlia directed the action. "We can deal with that with the guild later. For now, let's focus on the dungeon, Imoto." She replied cheerfully, "Okay, thanks." Marin had put on a new iron helmet to fight. He thought to himself because he had to come to this dungeon in such a rush. This was just gear bought in a hurry, but it was still better than the old stuff. He wondered when our new gear would be finished. Before that gnome had said, "Leave the broken gear here. We'll melt them down and use them as auxiliary material when forging the new equipment. All right. Marin asked carefully. Any idea on the completion time? She gave a reassuring smile. This is equipment for my benefactors. I can't do a sloppy job. It will take some time, so I'll summon you when it's done. The three of them were fighting while holding their ground. Regardless, just as Emoto worried, the number of monsters had become unreasonably high. It wasn't that the guild provided wrong information. If everything matched the info, the raid wouldn't have dragged on like this. Something was wrong. Dahlia asked loudly, They just keep coming? Isn't there an exit from this room? Emoto hurriedly flipped through the floor map. Look at the patterns on the floor. It says if we move and only avoid the tiles with blue patterns, we'll be safe. Then let's just deal with those coming close and slowly push them back. Emoto looked down at the patterns on the ground and thought, come to think of it, these blue panels, their function is, maybe... Suddenly, she discovered the number of mummies was increasing. Bad news, they're rushing us from behind. She leaned in close to Maron. Since when did there get to be so many of them? Like I said, just bring them down. Just take them out one by one as they come, that's all. The three of them stood back to back covering each other when suddenly her expression turned to shock as Marin lunged straight forward. Emoto cried out in a panic, Wait! It said not to step on that tile. Immediately after the mummies were all wiped out. Emoto and Dahlia couldn't help but be stunned. What on earth just happened? The trap only hit the monsters and with such terrifying precision. Marin took charge saying, No time to be shocked. We're going to break through the blockade just like this. As he stomped his heel onto a patterned tile, the scene played out once more with the trap catching only the monsters. Then it was Dahlia's turn to step on a tile. The mummies instantly fell into a deep pit. As time passed, everything became quiet and the three of them breathed a sigh of relief thinking, We've finally made it out of there, haven't we? We were almost put through hell back there. Dahlia asked, But Maron, how are you controlling those traps? You're moving like you already know exactly where every trap is and how they're triggered. Emoto was also curious. Did you secretly get extra info on the traps before coming here without telling us? She retorted, but nobody sells that kind of info and it's not even in the guild's database. But Marin revealed a bombshell. That stuff was cleared out 100 years ago. The two of them were shocked. What did you say, 100 years? He rubbed his chin in thought. I find it strange. Why would a dungeon that's already been cleared be treated like it hasn't? Emoto was confused. 100 years. What are you talking about? Suddenly, he turned sharply to the right. I only just told Dahlia this, that I'm actually the same age as you two, she shouted. Do you really think I'd believe such an absurd story? Dahlia sighed in frustration. It's amazing how you can say something so ridiculous with such a serious face. Emoto was only interested in the main point anyway. So that means, Marin knows how to solve this entire dungeon, right? Marin carefully chose his words. I know the gist of it, I guess. Dahlia had to nod. Honestly, it was pretty suspicious that he knew all this, but for now he was basically the key. The key we need to beat this dungeon. She gave a cheeky smile. You'd better take responsibility for it. Emoto was just as excited. And tell us everything you know right down to the very end. Marin hummed, trying to say something like, well, technically I do. But she quickly pushed him along. Then let's go find the treasure first. Let's go hurry up. At a wall. Marin felt around. I'm pretty sure there's a switch around here somewhere. Emoto and Dahlia stood by waiting. It hasn't opened yet. Are you sure this is really the entrance? Just wait. Finding a treasure entrance isn't that easy, you know. He pressed his hand against a tile and immediately after, a series of tiles fell away forming a path. As expected, there's a secret entrance. Let's charge in. Marin looked inside and warned, It's dark in there, light it up. Emoto reached out to create some light. This passageway is endless. The three of them followed each other inside. Is the treasure all the way in the back? After walking a distance, she felt it was quite strange. A dungeon full of traps, and yet there isn't a single one in this secret passage. Lucky us, Dahlia realized it too. Something's not right. Emoto looked around. What is it? Based on her judgment, there were mummies everywhere else. So I was expecting a whole swarm of giant scorpions too. Yet we've come this far and haven't seen a single one. It's impossible. That might mean there's someone else in this dungeon besides us. The next area was a much larger room. Marin crouched behind the wall and signaled, light it up more. Emoto obeyed, muttering, let there be light. As soon as she saw the scene in front of them, Marin's pupils constricted. Looking at the room covered in bloodstains, he was unsettled. What the hell is this? The three of them stood still in the middle of the terrifying room. What on earth was going on here? Dahlia frowned. It's a bit creepy. Isn't this room where some kind of religious ritual was held? It's hard to believe a dungeon could have a place like this. I can't believe you actually used such a creepy spot as a secret passage. Marin, run your hand over this table. I'm seeing this place for the first time too. This used to be a break area where I'd relax after dealing with the scorpions. Emoto leaned down, touching the magic circle drawn on the floor. I feel something really ominous closing in from all directions. I've got goosebumps all over. The place reeks of dark magic. Dahlia walked over and flipped open a notebook. According to these notes, anyone who came here clearly wasn't right in the head anymore. She read a passage aloud. There's a line here that says the Demon King's rebirth. Marin jumped, startled. The Demon King's rebirth, you say? He looked panicked, thinking to himself, no way. Did that crazy dragon do this? So for the past 100 years, she's been hiding out in a place like this. Marin said, Dahlia, let me see that book. She passed it to him. It's right here. Just then, a figure in a red cloak appeared. You there? Who are you people? The two of them froze. So someone was actually hiding out in a place like this after all. The guy suddenly got worked up and prepared to attack. Fine, then I'll just use you two as sacrifices. He unleashed a decisive blow forward. Dahlia gritted her teeth, leaning sideways as she shielded him, fighting in a cramped room like this. An explosion rocked the space. In the chaos, Marin kicked several bricks toward the attacker, who dodged them with surprising agility. The guy gritted his teeth. You faithless wretches, how dare you set foot in here? Do you really think those clumsy tricks are going to fool me? While the guy was off guard, Emoto lunged forward. I'm going to burn you to a crisp. The cloaked figure took a direct hit before he could even react. He coughed up a mouthful of blood and slumped down, shaking uncontrollably. Marin grabbed him by the collar. Answer my question. Even with his hood on, the pressure radiating from him was intense. What exactly are you people plotting here? But the guy just laughed like a madman. Idiots like you wouldn't understand. Then he proudly declared, this is the holy mark of the Demon King's resurrection ritual. Marin looked taken aback. A holy ritual. The guy kept rambling. Some time ago, one of the Demon King's subordinates told me, I need a noble sacrifice for the Demon King's return. Don't you dare try to interfere with the grand plan he has set in motion. Marin tightened his grip on the guy's collar, his voice dropping low as he leaned in close to his face. Are you in league with that insane dragon speak? Seeing this, Dahlia stepped in to de-escalate. Marin, calm down. We've got him tied up, we can ask him properly. But the cloaked man's face turned bright red and he started laughing loudly. I will not betray his will. I offer these sacrifices to this land. Bomber Inferno. Emoto's expression changed instantly. That forbidden spell is that. She rushed over, trying to pull Marin away. Marin, get away from him. But just a moment later, a massive explosion erupted with smoke and dust rising all the way to the rafters. Fortunately, all three were safe thanks to a protective barrier. Emoto slumped down, exhausted from the effort. That was close. I never expected him to cast an explosive spell. On his own body, right in front of us. Marin helped her up. Thanks, Emoto. Are you okay? She reassured him. I'm fine. It's just that I use it up all my magic at once, so my legs are a bit shaky. It was then that Dahlia realized something serious. The guy just blew himself up. The evidence is completely burned away. Even if we report it to the guild, the evidence is gone. It'll be hard to demand a full-scale investigation if they've already taken such drastic measures. Could they be involved in something extremely dangerous? Marin finally recounted. The dragon I told you I wanted to kill is conducting research to revive the Demon King. She was shocked. A dragon? Trying to revive the Demon King? Marin clarified his suspicions. If she has accomplices in her plan, there could be many others secretly performing rituals just like this one. This guy definitely knew about that insane dragon. He held a torn black piece of fabric in his hand. A question formed in Marin's mind. If that's the case, where is that mad dragon now? They discussed the door from earlier. Once you enter a secret passage, you can't go back out the way you came in. That's right. The three decided they should move on, passing through the scorched wall. Marin fell silent, just staring at it for a long time. Scene changed to a space with soft, gentle lighting. Emoto's eyes sparkled as she looked at the piles of gold. She gasped, "This is crazy. If I take this back, my family could live in luxury for the rest of their lives. I might even find someone to love." But then Marin crushed her dreams. Emoto, all of this is fake. As soon as you take it out of the dungeon, it'll all turn into garbage. Her energy immediately plummeted. No way. Dahlia, with her kind heart, urged me to give up on my dreams of wealth and just act like it was never mine to begin with. Greed is no good, she said. I looked around, and all the items on the altar were real, so I could definitely take them. They had to be around here somewhere. Suddenly, Marin spotted something in the distance. There it is. But the other two couldn't see a thing. What are you talking about? It's right there resting on the pedestal. Marin searched desperately, but in vain. It's impossible. It should have reappeared after 100 years. What's going on? What is that? Is that a pillow? A strange wooden stake stood upright in the pile of gold. Suddenly, Dahlia cried out in panic. Imoto, Marin, look over there, something's wrong. Why is everything collapsing so suddenly? She stared in bewilderment at the gold beneath her feet as it started flowing away like water. Another trap, Marin stammered, unable to answer. No, this isn't. I don't know when this started. A clawed, sharp foot appeared. The two looked up, their eyes meeting a pitch-black hollow gaze. What is this? Suddenly, Marin seemed to realize something. A Sphinx Y is the dungeon boss in the treasure vault. Before they could even grasp the situation, the Sphinx spoke in a deep, booming voice. Whoever seeks my treasure shall be faced with a trial.